There being all members present, I am opening the May 3rd, 2022 meeting of the Rutland Conservation Commission. Let me take a moment to do this. I said this, and that, and this. So our first issue is minutes from the last meeting.
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
Roll call, Clark.
Aye.
Local aye.
Abstained.
Abstain.
Aye. Dan's aye.
Crane eye. Yay, we did the easy part. Before we begin and get into the formal agenda, I think we should introduce to the entire commission someone who's talking about doing some volunteer work for us, and she is here tonight. Please introduce yourself to everyone.
I'm Brianna. I'm a graduate student of Geography and Natural Resources Conservation at UMass Amherst. I live in Princeton, but I spend a lot of time in Rutland and surrounding towns.
We're going to spend a lot more time in Rutland now.
Yeah.
Actually, tell them what position you expect to be appointed to, please.
Oh, I hope to be appointed to the Princeton Conservation Commission. So I want to be a wetland delineator after school is done. So be a valuable experience.
So welcome. We have
Thanks.
some work you can help us with. All right, moving on. Application submissions for 315 East County Road. Do we have anyone here to present for that?
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. My name is John Martian. I'm from Farland Corp. We're the engineers here on behalf of the applicant, Shami Islam. He has a 5-acre site on the south side of East County Road, and he's looking to subdivide it to create an additional lot to construct a new single-family home in the back. Let's see.
All right, because I noticed the property in the proposed Lot 1, and which with the existing house, and this is Lot 2, where the NOI is for. Now, you know we're not involved with the, I assume it's an A&R you'll file to divide the property.
Yep, yeah, so we're just here for the work associated with the driveway that falls within the 100-foot buffer to the wetland. It's a 12-foot wide gravel driveway just to get back to the proposed house, which is, it's about 400 feet off the road. We tried to minimize the clearing associated with the driveway. We kept a 10-foot maximum slope on the driveway. So that the area that we're proposing to clear is just limited to the driveway and the associated grading for that.
And briefly, it looks like you're staying 25 feet,
Yep,
minimum
yeah,
of 25 feet.
Maintain a 25-foot buffer to the wetland, proposing a staked wattle at the limit of clearing on the downslope side. Yeah, the house and the proposed septic are all, well outside the 100-foot buffer.
Right.
So the only work within the buffer is the driveway and the associated grading with it.
Oh, there's the well, okay. And, right, so there are no other wetlands of any interest to us for this project, because they're well off.
Correct, yeah, there's a wetland and then there's a intermittent stream. Those were delineated by Ecotech Environmental Consulting back in October of 2021. And that delineation report is in the notice of intent application.
Right. All right, do we have any questions for this submission? Nope, hearing nothing, then
You're No, you're gonna,
Go
you
ahead.
said wattles, it's silt fence also, right?
Yeah, we can certainly add a silt fence. The detail on there doesn't have one, but that would certainly be acceptable.
Okay, I figure also we deal with it more in the actual hearing.
Oh, all right, okay.
You're not wrong, Skip. Don't don't let me make you think I'm tisking you or anything. I'm not. So hearing 2 weeks, 17th,
Okay.
and we'll get you on the list.
Sure. Do you need a revised plan prior to that showing the silt fence, or?
It wouldn't hurt, but I don't know if it's required. We'll make sure it's in our conditions anyway.
Okay. Very good.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too. Next submission. Julian, is this you, 6 Woodside?
Yes. I'm Julian from New England Environmental Design. This is off of Main Street at Woodside, which is the subdivision. It's owned by Bryce Estates. This is the first lot as you're coming up the new paved road. On the right, the pump station is like down here. So we go past that. And this is the wetlands are down here at the stone wall. There's a stone wall down here.
Right.
And this is already a temporary sediment pond. It's the lot in front of that pond. So that's what we've got.
Actually, why don't we look at 6 and 8 at the same time, because they're both
That's the next
submissions.
one.
Because there's
Yeah,
8.
here's the tail end of the pond, and the road, the paved road is here. So we're as close to the street as we can possibly be in the house, and it's a walkout, and then the slope. That slope is pretty close to already being built. It's already there
Yeah. I
because of the
remember
road. So, but we're within 100 feet. There's a 100-foot line right here. So,
that. And it's still town sewer and what?
town sewer. and
There are
town
always
water.
sewer and water over there.
Yep.
So is this the detention pond that's gonna?
That's the outlet.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
All right, so we'll look at both, questions?
This is closer to the Main Street side.
It's on Main Street.
That's correct.
Right,
Okay.
right,
That's
right
right.
when you pull
This-
in.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
This is the first lot on the right,
Yeah,
and
I remember the basement.
First
You and
one.
I walked that a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
in fact, now I'm wondering if it's time we walk it again, just because it's been a while, a lot of development.
Yeah.
Not with respect to these
Just in
particularly, but just in general. Okay, questions, comments? Put them on the list for the 17th, please. Close and close. Here we go. So I'm going to, we're continuing the hearing for Harbor Classic Homes on Rutland Heights Way.
Yeah, we were just waiting for a DEP number on that, right?
No, this one we have a lot more going on than this. We have other questions that were outstanding. Yes, the DEP number is one of those things that we're waiting for. We have it,
Yeah.
in fact. We have 2 sets so we have the original comments from when this was a solar project that used more of the land. So, because it was solar, there are lots of comments that don't apply, but I thought we should at least take a look at them. Are you anywhere near the riverfront?
No.
I didn't think so. Yeah, that's over yonder, so we can ignore that. You're not using footings, so I'm just gonna skip over all that. NOI does not contain soil logs confirming depth, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know how much this actually applies. You're not gonna build meadow beneath the houses. But they do bring up an extra point, a good point that I did not ask last time, because I forgot to. So let me bring up, this plan will be as good as any. What is the intended phasing for this build-out?
They're working with the HPD board on that, but right now they've been talking about 3 phases. The first phase would be up to the high point, which is in here, and then roughly in here. I think the first phase is 40 units, if I'm correct.
Okay.
And so there's part of the agreement that they have with the RDIC board when they negotiated to buy the property. They have to have so many units built by a certain time frame. And so I know part of that phasing has to coordinate with the agreement that they have in place. But I know some of the conversation that we've had is to do the first phase up here, kind of while we're showing the sewer and the water tying in the Rutland Heights Way here, the sewer being to that point there, so we can get the correct number of units, at least for the first phase. And then the second phase, they haven't quite figured out how they want to get the second phase, if they're going to bring out the second phase in this direction here, and then put the sewer and the water out and get that loop done. And that's something that they're talking about now. And that's something that came up during the HPDD board meeting, to have that conversation with the board. And they have to make sure that everything kind of complies with their agreement with the sale.
The reason I bring up phasing has nothing to do with the build out of the requirements for how many units when. It all has to do with large projects clearing large amounts of land. If you don't intend to clear large amounts of land at once, that makes the stormwater and the erosion easier to control. That was my thinking on this.
And so I know one of the comments or questions that came up at the last meeting was regards to the stormwater pollution prevention plan. So when we develop that, typically we like to have the approvals from all the local boards before we develop that, because a lot of times the local boards will have conditions that we want to integrate into that, which is really the construction-related erosion control and sequencing. And so that's why I know that was a question. We have no problem conditioning an approval from the Conservation Commission that you guys get a copy of that document when that document is prepared, but we typically don't prepare that right now because it's, like I said, we incorporate a lot of the comments that come up during this process between your board and the other town boards, and then anything that comes from the DCR also.
Anything else from anybody else on the commission?
We had one question last time.
We still have other questions, but please, which one are you thinking of?
Well, I'm talking about snow.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any idea where the snow piles are gonna be put, or removal to, or where, or whatever?
So they will store as much snow as they can on site, obviously away from the basins. I know that was a question, to make sure that we do that. So we have no problem that if you want to condition that they don't store store the snow near the basins, but they do have some open space in between the units and then some other areas on the property. And then it's something that the developer needs to work with the town, I guess, and see if there's any other areas that they can store snow if they need to. But they do have some green space in between the units and then on the outskirts of the development. And then the town does own some other property out here that they may be able to work with the town to, if it becomes a necessity, to store snow somewhere else.
How much space is it between units, more or less?
So we are showing 20 feet for fire protection reasons, yeah.
And that's all green?
Side to side, all green, yes, yep. And so we can go closer, but then it becomes more of a fire protection issue.
Yeah, I'm just asking from, thinking about the impervious surface load, that's all.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just looking to see if there's anything else interesting. I don't think there's anything on the old ones.
A lot of that was written because of the proximity to.
Right, it was a larger land project, so a lot of it doesn't apply, and the style of project doesn't either. You have a DEP number and you don't have any comments, and for a project this size, that is surprising.
We don't. And so, I think last meeting we showed you the jurisdiction under the Conservation Commission is very small on this project.
Right.
The way we laid it out, we were trying to stay as far out of the buffer zone as we could. And really, the only one area that we're in the buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland is that the basin in the northwest corner. I believe it's the northwest corner.
Right. Yeah.
The rest of it, we tried staying out of the buffer as much as we could.
Yes.
And so it's that basin up in the upper corner. This one's close to an isolated
The
wetland.
isolated, yeah.
And then we do have a small amount of work in proximity to this wetland here, but it's existing paved roadway now. And so we're just looking to install the sewer and the water to tie out to Rutland Heights Way.
one of our questions that I remember had to do with.
Yeah, so I don't know, you want me to go over all your questions?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so, and I have your memo and I have my notes from the last meeting, and so I know the first note that I had was the surface cover for the trails.
Mhm.
And so they said stone dust is what they are gonna use, for the trails. I know, there was a question with regards to this section here, if you guys were comfortable with that. The reason the applicant showed that is part of their conversation originally with the RDIC board, and now with the meeting that we had last week with the HPDD board, was that they are trying to tie in, the trails that we're proposing with the trails that are already existing on the site.
Mhm.
And I know there are further trails, I think off to the school property and then off to the south onto the other property that the town owns that they'll retain, that the town actually wants to tie their trails into this. And so that was the intent of this, was try to get them down to the pond. So that was actually part of the conversation that they had earlier with the conceptual plans. And so that's why that leg of the trail ended up being shown on the plan. It was
Right.
kind of at the request of the town, the other boards. And like I said, if this commission feels that you don't want it, let us know and we'll remove it off the plan. And again, we're trying to,
I'll tell you the truth, I'm of two minds on that part of the path. One is, it's gonna be a bunch of people walking down and trampling all over the wetlands all around the pond, because that's the natural effect of the path leading right down to it.
Right.
I'm not sure that makes it bad or wrong.
Doesn't make it bad, makes it used.
Well, it's used. Well, again, my concern is literally nothing to do with the path.
Right.
The DEP didn't have any questions on that. They made no comment, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is that part of any agreement you with HPD?
so as part of the final agreements, there's gonna have to be some easements given from the developer to the town and town back to the developer.
Mhm.
And so that's gonna be some of the fine tuning of the legalities of the sale to the property to the developer. And then the same thing with access here,
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, and I'm not sure necessarily there'll be an easement over it, but it'll be a public trail that I think the town will end up owning afterwards. And that was actually part of the conversation originally. The intent was for this driveway to be owned by the developer. The town actually wants to maintain ownership of this road so they have access out to the back.
Mhm.
And so there's a trade-off there. And I know initially, this piece of property was supposed to be bigger that the developer was supposed to be owning or buying from the town. So there's some kind of trade-off there that they've been working with the other boards to try to get that to work out with the master plan of what they see for this entire property.
Right.
If other boards are expecting that to be there, then I would suggest that we leave that alone.
You could condition signage.
Yeah, that's true. If, again, I would ask the commission, are my concerns about people walking through the wetlands reasonable and something appropriate for us to deal with?
I always think of the open space benefit, the trade-off
Mhm.
of if
Right.
you're able to bring education. So if maybe the developer is willing to put maybe one or two signage,
Yep,
you know,
yeah.
just stating that there's
Yep.
resources to protect, then I think it's a good opportunity.
Okay. I'm not against it.
Yep.
But you did bring it up, so I'll ask now. I remember hearing that there currently are walking trails that start at the school, which is up on this orientation.
Yes.
Where would they tie into this trail?
And so from what I was told by one of the members is that it kind of meanders in here. And so that's what we were trying to figure out how we're gonna, I think, tie into this area here to get away from crossing the wetlands.
Please.
Because I think that's where, and that's what we had a conversation with the HPDD board.
Okay.
Especially this specific member that was having the concern about the trails, because he wanted to keep that in. So that's what we were looking at, is trying to tie in into this corner as best as we could to where those trails are. And so that's something that we need to go out and locate where the existing trails are in that corner of the school
Yeah,
property.
that's all fine. There is a fence around the entire,
There-
well,
There is a fence, and yes,
entire property. I'm sure
Yes.
there have to be gaps in order for there to be paths.
yeah.
But,
And that's part of the conversation they've been having too, is what they want to do with the fence
right,
on the property lines there.
but you
if they're gonna
don't
come down or not.
envision fencing in the rest of your property around, the property?
No. No.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, question?
1 second, please. All right, anybody else in the commission have a question?
We were forwarded the Quinn engineering report
Yep.
dated April 20th. Have
Yep.
you guys responded to any of those, mostly in terms of the stormwater
I'll
increases?
bring it up. I'll bring up the whole document, we can review the parts that we think are appropriate.
Yep, so I have that, so we did have a conversation with the HPDD board last week about the peer review letter. We haven't prepared an official response letter back from Quinn. There are a couple items that the applicant is still working on, being the traffic, the lighting, and the architecturals. And so we don't have everything together yet to submit a final submittal back to Quinn, but we are working on that. But I can go over the stormwater section if you want to.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just gonna whip through and say, nothing about the HPDD bylaw impacts, has anything that we would be concerned with. Site plan standards, no, I don't think so. Landscaping and strips and all that. But senior housing, I'm just skipping right over, and the subdivision regs, unless they're, catch basins, there's a good one.
Yeah, and so we're gonna end up having so on the last thing, we are gonna ask for a waiver from that.
Okay.
It's the location to the driveway openings, and really, we show the units on there. I know the units could change with regards to even the unit layout. We show the maximum footprint that the units are gonna be,
Mhm.
but if you're buying a unit, you might want a 2-bedroom with an office, or a 2-bedroom without an office, and then where the driveway comes in may change or not, so that, we're gonna ask for a waiver from this, because it's tough to exactly determine where every driveway is gonna come in right now.
Right.
And with that many units, that tightly compacted, there's really no way to get away from doing that. There are a couple that I might be able to change that meet most of that, but there are a couple that I'm not gonna, there's no way I can get away with not asking for that waiver.
Okay.
22.
Yeah, catch basin capacity.
So we are gonna provide that information to Quinn Engineering. The solution to that, if they are not happy with the single catch basins, we'll show double catch basins. And it'll just increase the number of double catch basins on the product. It's fairly standard on a
Right.
project of this size,
Grass strips, street signs, trees and shrubs.
which we talked about
If
with
not-
them. Yeah.
Trees and shrubs are something we might be interested in. So
So,
when,
So I know it's been some conversation, and I know the applicants still trying to figure exactly what they want to do on there. So they've been going around to a lot of the similar projects like this to try to figure out which shrubs and trees fit better into a project of this size or a project of this density.
right,
Because they don't want something that's going to root underneath the sidewalks or root close to the driveway. So it's going to be lower growing trees and shrubs.
to be more clear though, we're interested in what you're gonna do for, I hate to use the term, but I'm gonna say it anyway, landscaping around the detention ponds, how you're gonna finish those, and basically what's around that for stability. That's really
Yep.
the only concern that we're going to have.
So on the erosion control plan, I do show erosion control blankets around the basins so that they do get stabilized. We've had fairly good luck on those, but more as recent because we are making sure that the stabilization of those are critical, and those are the first to go in.
Mhm.
And so we do show that. We don't show any plantings around those because you're not supposed to put any plantings on the berm or anywhere near the berm, because then you'll have blow up to the berm if the root system gets into the
Just
to the
gonna be
berm.
grass.
So it's just gonna be grass, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And the ones in the three that are kind of around the upper side of the project, they're gonna be so far removed. It's really the one in the front that I know even the applicant is concerned on how that's gonna look. So they're gonna try decorating it as much as they could closer to it, but still not affecting the berm, because that's right near the entrance, but there's nothing we could do. It was the low point in that upper corner of the project site. This, we're gonna have I'll have a conversation with Quinn, but it's also a conversation with DCR and how they want us to look at this. So number 26 really has under DCR's jurisdiction. Number 27, which is the soil testing. And so what we had asked for in the report is said that we were gonna do the testing once they mobilize. We didn't wanna get out there and start disturbing too much of the property to do soil testing for the three basins in the back, which are the infiltration basins. The one in the front, we're not gonna do a soil test on. We're not including it as an infiltration basin. The HPDD did say they will allow us to do that dirt construction. So they're gonna put a waiver on
Okay.
on this item here. We did talk about that with them. 28, I need to, on my O&M plan, so I know we talked about the O&M plan at the last meeting, so there are 2 O&M plans, one during construction and one post-construction.
Mhm.
In our stormwater analysis that we provided to the commission, we do show a post-construction O&M plan, so I need to adjust that note that calls for the mowing to be twice a year.
Mhm.
29, I just need to show the access locations to the basins. So I'm gonna call that on the plan. Number 30, we're not proposing it as a detention basin. I model it as a detention basin, so I think there's some, but we have no problem taking care of some of the vegetation around the head wall because I think it does need to be cleaned up. It just hasn't been maintained.
Mhm.
But then the good thing, I think, this will actually be on the applicant's property.
Right.
Once they do purchase the property from the town, so that will actually have, I think, a benefit to that area, that depression that's really, and I don't know if it was designed to be a basin, but it acts like a detention basin as the head wall there. We show this information in the calculations, and so I just don't know
Thought
if
it was there.
if Quinn saw it. I know he was looking at the erosion, I think, coming out of the pipe, and so I don't know if there's anything we can do about where the outfall is, because I believe there's head walls on both sides of that outfall, and so that's the only thing in the outfall on the pond side, and so that's something that we have to work with the town to see if we can help them armor the discharge side of the.
Right.
What's the difference in rate? Do you know? Off the top of your head?
I don't off the top of my head. I don't. I know it's not a tremendous, but I know there's a decent amount that goes there now. Our change is not a big change to the plan.
Is erosion caused by water rate or by the change in
velocity.
elevation?
Well,
Velocity.
on that it's both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there's the head wall there, and
Mm-hmm.
and it's such a steep slope. It's not a great situation there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I transposed the 9 and the 4 or whatever.
What's 50 feet among friends?
Yeah, exactly, that's it. These are all in general comments. This, couple of the outlets will go on the other side of the trail,
Mm-hmm.
which I know a couple of them already did. I think I need to move 2 outlets, which I can do that. We're gonna add a note. I know in the entrance into the first phase,
Mm-hmm.
there are sections that we think that will end up having some groundwater. And so we'll probably end up having some sub-drains underneath the driveway as you come up into the entrance there.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's really the biggest cut in that whole project is gonna be that entrance, just getting into there, meeting subdivision rules and regulations.
Right.
The rest of it's
Mailbox.
sidewalks.
I'm just moving ahead here.
walkways,
Walking trail,
pedestrian
all
access.
slopes. Utilities,
Phasing.
waivers, I'm just gonna skip over because that has nothing to do with us. Right. Like, other than catch basin diameter. But I don't know enough about it to talk about that one.
And that's fine, we can, actually, I don't think because he didn't have an issue with that, and that's fine. It's gonna be privately owned,
Right.
so.
Were there other outstanding questions that we had, or information we were looking for? Because again, the SWIP is coming.
So there was a question at the last meeting, and I want to make sure I clarify that. So there was a question, I think it was by, and I didn't get the address, Michelle Van Reet maybe. And so she asked if the secondary access was going to be gated. It is not going to be gated. The HPD board does not want it to be gated. They want it to be open access. They don't want to have to deal with gates and locks and anything like that. So they want it to be an open access. They may put a gate into their property, but at least into the development, they don't want any gates.
Okay.
So
So there was a question, Mr. Sullivan.
No, my question when they had the map up was, is the fence shown on that?
the fence is shown along the property line. Yeah, the existing fence.
Can you put it up for me?
Can you go to sheet? I don't know if we can show as well on these. I know it's on there,
Well,
but
you know, it's really not important. I only wanted to point out that there is a existing, let's call it a walking trail, that goes along the entirety of the fence line. It's gotta be 10 feet wide and goes along the entire fence.
Right.
yeah, and I can't remember. I don't remember what member of the board had asked about it, but he wanted us to tie that in. So the fence is right along the property line, so it doesn't show well in the plans here, but
Right.
we located it.
Right, so it would have been, this is that area.
Yes, it would. Yeah. Actually, you can kind of it's kind of faint in the corner here, but it basically follows the property line. They did a pretty good job installing it right on the property line.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can see that. Just a little bit here. There's
All right.
right there.
Yeah, a little jog there.
Yeah, one is superimposed on the other.
Yeah, pretty
And
close.
that's what it was. Yeah.
Anyone else in the public have questions or comments? Hearing nothing. So, do we need other information at this point? Are we waiting for something?
Unless you wanna see the small tweaks or the response to Quinn.
I think that's the question before us. Do we want,
Yeah, you need a rebuttal on that. You need to see the whole thing.
get
Yeah,
the
I think so.
negotiations
Mm-hmm.
until it's resolved? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't see problems, we don't see anything that's going to hold it up, but we are waiting for the Quinn,
Yeah, that's understandable. So now, when's your first meeting in June then?
June 7.
Because your next meeting's, because you have two a month, right? Is that what
That's
the-
correct, so we'll meet on the 17th.
Yeah, and we won't have a resolution by then.
Okay.
So I know our meeting with the HPD is not until the 25th. And so I'm wondering if we're better off coming back for that first meeting in June.
That all sounds fine to me, I don't see any let's not rush it, let's not just put,
No, but I think
Census meetings.
hopefully by then we should have a response back from Quinn, at least taking care of the issues that you guys were concerned about. They may have, they might be more question about other items, but I don't think anything related to this commission.
I agree. A lot of things not, that we have nothing to say about. So I'd like a motion to continue to June 7, please.
So moved.
Second,
Roll call.
Elko, aye.
Langer and I.
Gentilucci, aye.
Dan's eye.
Crane eye. See, I'm not doing anything with this time.
You make me
Twice.
nervous. You switched.
So thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
Why'd you see me side-eyeing you?
Yes. Alrighty.
Woman of consistency here.
Really? Really?
A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds.
The hobgoblin.
Alrighty, let us now continue
Yeah,
the
I
hearing
can see that.
for Old Property 78 Main Street. Hi again, Julian.
Hi. We have our DEP number.
Yes, and it's right here. Stormwater BMPs are not allowed in undeveloped, okay, this is that whole what's developed, what, is it a redevelopment or development
We're not in any
conversation?
zone A, because we're outside the 100-foot buffer with our stormwater. If you look at the drawing, we're, well, zone A actually is right here.
Yeah,
So we're
we'll just shift a
outside
little
of
bit
that.
to get away from,
Yeah. That's the zone A from the river that comes across Main Street. We are in the 100-foot buffer, but that's, as long as we're 50 feet away, we can have infiltration. And that's what we've got. But we've overcome that.
yes. It just so happens that we have the Quinn report for this also, so I just wanted to go over, very briefly go over these.
Resolved comments.
Yes, mostly resolved. So,
Except for the zone A, apparently.
Well, the GIS map shows this entire property under zone A. Why? They show a river going through basically Martelli's building too, which we know doesn't exist.
would say that would be hard to insist.
So we might have to move the building.
We might have to, it's only been there since the 60s, but that's all right. So we field located everything, and this is what's there.
Do you have to file like a map amendment type thing with
DCR or
DCR
something.
to help fix it, or no?
They
Just let
they
it
don't
go.
change them.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
not
they
like
do.
FEMA?
Well, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
At this point, it don't really matter.
Blah, the redevelopment versus new development, resolved. Great. Overflow,
Yeah, I believe we got everything resolved.
yeah,
The planning board.
resolved.
So you brought everything up to what a new development standards are
Yes.
for TSS removal
Yes.
and everything?
Yes.
Stupid blank stormwater checklists, close a discharge, fixed. Yeah. And as we said, a bunch of resolved questions. Anybody have other questions or comments from the commission?
Oh, that's what I was looking
No.
for.
Anything from the public? Questions or comments? All right. Is there any reason, since we have a DEP number, not to close this hearing? Before we close, are there any special conditions we want to discuss?
I don't think we discussed anything specific last time.
Neither do I.
What do you have for erosion control on those?
Would be wattles and silt fence.
Just a copy of the SWIP, the construction general permit. They also have to go to DEP now too,
Yeah.
to make sure both the EPA and DEP. I think that was it.
That was it?
What was the second one you said?
The NPDES permit, all caps. Submittal, so proof of submittal of the NIPD's permit to EPA and DEP.
All right.
Nifties.
NIPD's.
Do they all have to go to DEP now?
If it's an RW,
Oh, right, yes,
which most Rutland is.
yes.
We do? We have resource areas here?
Outstanding ones.
Outstanding ones!
I
That
will
was
take.
good. That was really good.
I'll take a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Start this side.
Danza eye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Langer,
Teleco eye.
Clock eye.
Crane eye. So any other specials? Just the ones that Melissa listed, and you've got those.
I got him.
Anybody care to make a motion?
So moved. To approve the order conditions
With specials.
with specials, as
Second.
noted.
Second that.
There's a second. Here we go.
I told you it was done.
Yes, it's a rough day, I know. Roll calls.
Teleco eye.
Langer,
Danza eye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Clock eye.
Crane eye. Set.
That was cruel. I wasn't looking at you.
Yes,
I think that's why.
that's one of my specialties, is cruelty.
What's mine?
What's that?
What's mine then, if you're cruel?
Unusual. We're going to continue the hearing for J.M. Susi at Lot 9A on Walnut Street. Anybody here? Yes, don't you? You just get to sit here a lot, don't you?
Remember last time he was on Zoom? We were so impressed.
That's
he kept
right,
coming back.
that's right.
Yeah, that didn't work out so well. This is easier for me.
You did great last time. It was us that you couldn't hear, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you guys
Yeah.
for a little while. But. So we got our DEP number.
Yes, and let's go to the DEP number. The stream running west of the subject parcel is mapped perennial on the most recent USGS mapping. Fall outside of the associated RA, however, Mass DEP recommends the applicant confirm that this is the case. Have you gone and looked at it? Is it perennial stream?
Oh, there's a big
Yeah.
stream in the back of this, so. But, well, that's fine. Tracking pad is, I think he does that anyways.
Yeah, that's DEP getting free labor.
Yeah, pretty much.
No issues.
Okay. Questions or comments from the commission?
Nope.
Nope.
Questions or comments from the public? Any specials?
Is this the one with signage or no? Or boulders? Or was that the other
No,
one?
No,
this
this one
was
didn't.
far enough away, I think.
Yeah.
Julian, what's the closest point on this one to the wetland?
I didn't hear you.
What's the closest point to the wetland on this one?
Oh, this one's pretty far. It's,
Well, it's across the street.
it's across the street on
Yeah.
the other side of
Hmm.
Walnut. So this is the closest point here. So you got the road in between you, and over here is way down.
Yeah, that's far
Almost
away.
180 feet, 190 feet. Actually, over 200 feet, because that's a 200-foot line.
So nearest point is,
I think about
Across the
25.
street.
Yeah.
Across the street and uphill.
25
So
feet.
I think we're
25
good.
feet, yep.
I just need
Am I understanding DEP's comment correctly? They asked for additional erosion controls on the eastern edge of the site? Am I reading that right?
They might have not realized that the road is,
They didn't do elevation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doesn't make any
it makes no
sense.
sense. You're
Okay.
gonna
Just-
protect the hill
Just making sure.
that's uphill.
protect that uphill resource area.
That's right.
yes.
But we don't want the hill falling in.
All right, motion to close.
So move.
Jared.
Second.
You are here tonight, right? You're kind of quiet.
Physically.
In body, if not in spirit.
I'll kick you every now and then. Just grumble.
Roll call.
I need it. I can't tell who you're pointing to. Just Luciano.
Pointing at everybody.
Is this how you get your kicks?
Yes.
Dan's eye.
Clock eye.
Local eye.
Langer.
Great eye. Because we didn't have any specials, any motion to approve the order of conditions.
So move. How's that? Let you
Second.
do it.
I know.
I'll wait and let you do it next time.
Oh, thanks.
So why don't you second this?
I'll second it.
I already did.
He already did.
Yeah.
Jared got it.
You're too quiet.
I can yell at it next time if you want.
I think you should. Screaming goat, perhaps.
All right.
Roll call.
Dan's eye.
Langer night.
Gentilucci eye.
Local eye.
Look at his smile.
Crane eye.
He's like a kindergarten teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay attention, class.
Just check to make sure
Makes you
everybody's
feel
awake.
Yikes.
What are we up to? We'll reopen the hearing for Lot 1A and Kenwood Drive for J&K Ventures. This one is
We also
the
have a
easy one
DEP
that
number.
doesn't cross. Yeah, okay. So no, if you do something different, you might have to do something different.
Correct.
That's their note.
So-
Okay.
We realize that. We appreciate it. So, we're not doing anything different than what's shown, so.
Questions or comments from the commission?
We have a couple boulders on the east side. Just in that first
Yeah,
bend to
on
the,
the,
I guess, second bend, kind of.
Put them over here.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
just there.
No problem with that. That's where the boulders come.
Closest point on this one?
25.
15.
Was it 50? Oh, right,
Yeah.
that's a 15 foot.
Oh, these are both 15, right?
Yep.
Thank you.
Questions or comments from the public? So we already talked about boulders. Any other specials?
Oh, this is the one that goes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you for understanding.
Not sure I did, because this one's,
The
this one's
next one-
close.
Well, no, the next one has the septic that's.
Yes, the
all
next
way
one
along-
is
yeah.
the lot, yes.
Yes.
All right, motion to close.
I'll make a motion close.
I'll second.
You're not gonna give Joe a chance?
I looked
I
at
already
him.
did a
He
couple
made no
seconds.
motion. He made no.
I already did a
Movement.
couple.
Roll call.
Clock eye.
Pelican eye.
Langer, aye.
Dan's eye.
Chancelucci, aye.
Crane eye. Guess I'm getting every
You're
permutation.
just having way too much fun there.
Thank you.
He is.
He only does it because it bothers you. You know, it's like,
No, do you see
it's like
this?
hitting a girl. You only do it because you like her.
Thanks, Peter. Jeez.
We'll have a talk later.
Okay.
Motion to sign the order of conditions with a special. I think it's just one special, right?
Yeah, the boulders.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Clock eye.
Pelican eye.
Langer, aye.
Chancelucci, aye.
Dan's eye. I'm gonna point at you now.
Crane eye.
You notice he never points to himself first.
I know.
Gotta be self-important, but
Now you just gave me an idea.
Hey, listen, you know why? Because he is number one.
that's
Oh my
right.
God.
Use the correct finger, Scott.
I,
Gonna open the, continue is the word I'm looking for. Continue the hearing for J&K Ventures at Lot 2B Kenwood Drive.
Lot to be what?
To be whatever it needs to be.
Again, we have the DEP number.
Oh, I don't have the DEP thing up. Did I miss it?
It's the same as the other comment
Okay,
about if there's any wetland filled. file
right.
for-
So if you do something different, do something
change
different.
if you change.
Makes sense.
Questions or comments from the commission?
I think just the same as the other one.
This was the one with the
Boulders.
special, right?
No, the other
No,
one
the other one
special.
was.
The other?
I think we need boulders on.
Yeah, boulders on
Boulders
this one
here.
too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, if you go to the other
Yeah, go to the
plan,
second
you'll see
page.
the, yeah.
Cause it has the,
It's got the,
yeah.
yeah, that
Slide
actually
it.
shows the house, yeah.
Slide it.
Just a second, I gotta get my cursor working. There's a house,
Okay.
so
We'll
boulders
put
on this
right
side.
there.
Yeah,
Right.
boulders up to wetland flag 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's blurry, won't load, sorry.
Did you say flag 2?
I'll tell you when my thing loads.
I think that's
promise.
right.
Do you have the GPS coordinates on that
Is it
board?
J2?
Maybe.
I can
It's
get 'em
too
for you.
blurry for me
Yeah,
to
that's
see right
J2.
now. Okay.
That's the new thing.
I think it's J2.
We're gonna need specific gravity displacement, you know.
I'll talk to my guys.
Until we,
I get a couple of rocket scientists on board now.
And this one's 15 feet as well. Yep.
Yep. Actually, is it less than 15 down along the road? When where you're laying the pipe?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess, yeah. 2. 2 feet.
There you go. That's as good a number as any.
Never put one that low.
Oh, yeah.
Right, that's a good point. I forgot about the road.
Do you work for the town?
Not this one. It's too much town business. That's not this town going on. This
Are we ready to close this one?
Yes.
Motion?
Joseph.
motion to close.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Dan's eye.
Langer, aye.
Pelican eye.
Chancelucci, aye.
Clock eye.
Crane eye. Okay. Oh, and
Do you want to issue?
yeah, let's issue the. I think I just closed the wrong one. Darn it. Issue the order of conditions with the one special.
Mm-hmm.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Clock eye.
Pelican eye.
Langer, aye.
Chancelucci, aye.
Should I wait for you?
No.
Dan's eye.
Fine, Crane eye. All right, let us now open a hearing for Turkey Hill Road, Lot 6A. And I think I have closed the document, so let me go and find it again. Oh, yeah, oh, good, so it mostly found it. Here for the applicant?
So this is a filing off of Turkey Hill. The house is within the 100-foot buffer of an old farm pond, and the driveway is existing, but the plan does show some driveway improvements. I don't know how much of those improvements will actually get constructed. You know, it'll depend on the homeowner's budget, but I wanted to show everything in case they do have a big budget and do want to spend some money on the driveway. So the big reason for the filing is that the house is within the 100-foot buffer.
And in fact, it looks like only a little bit of the house.
Yeah,
Because that's 100, it's just basically this wedge of house and whatever other land work you're doing.
correct.
And then, so the plan doesn't show more of the driveway. So I don't know what the limits of this wetland are.
There is a secondary site plan.
Oh, there,
That's with this filing.
well,
It was a two-plan set.
I think we wanna- one more page.
is it in the NOI? Because we only have one page here.
I only have one.
It was always already existing.
No, that's just
It's
the
A&R.
plan of
Yeah,
land.
that's as far as,
Yeah, we just have a one-page site plan that doesn't show the driveway.
Yeah, there should be a second plan. It was submitted anyways.
Tamika, would that have come in a Concom?
Mark, did you send it just the paper copy or the electronic one?
Electronic. I have a paper here, and I could potentially resend the electronic if I get on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, good luck with it.
Tamika, where would you have filed that?
I would have put it in the paper. You could also check the webpage that I posted what I had.
Well, I was thinking you usually do, so I just wasn't sure if his email, where his email would have been.
You know, I probably pulled it on my phone.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I
You always have a few to
Yes, please.
Yeah, this is the one where
Yeah.
they were cutting down here, 'cause
Yep.
we walked over here.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. It's all open, you can see that.
Yeah.
You can see it from 20 miles away.
I was just wondering what the extent of the wetland was, and therefore how much of the driveway is in the 100. But it's a lot of it.
Yes,
That
yeah,
was
almost-
really my
almost-
only.
almost
that was-
all the
that was my
existing
only
driveways in
question.
it.
Yeah.
It's
But it's already there.
It's already
Yeah.
there.
No, no,
You're basically,
yep.
you're maintaining and improving.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, the driveway was probably constructed at the same time as the
Yeah,
lawn.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Is it a gravel driveway? Yeah. How far does it go today?
Start.
Currently it is. It goes right back to that lot that used to be
Oh, and back?
where
Yeah.
he'd store all of his
Hold on, I
equipment,
think I have,
porta potties and
Yeah.
trucks.
No, I didn't take a picture of the,
There actually used to be a pretty
So
big
this is
parking
from
area back there.
that
You
working
can still see
area.
most of it.
and so
Right.
here's the shared drive right
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
And then that like stone walls where they cleared up to.
Gotcha.
That's on the edge of the pond. And then the house though. Yeah, kind of.
Right.
Yeah, where that little
Yeah.
trail thing is.
How much earth movement is going to go on here? Within the 100?
Not much. It'd just be a little fill for the front of the house and, you know, constructing the lawn area. The septic
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the septic's in the rear.
Okay.
Most of the work's in the back.
Okay. Other questions from the commission? Questions or comments from the public?
Do we wanna talk about the clearing without a permit?
Well, we definitely do want to discuss it. Actually, before we do that, let's look at the DEP. This one's yours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were questioning I showed a new culvert under the driveway just in case they want to replace it while they're doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
DEP just recommends that we confirm that it's not a connection in the outstanding resource water.
Right.
Which, it's all uplands on both sides of the driveway.
Right.
How is it upland on both sides of the driveway? Got a pond on one side.
Well, there's a pretty good area between the driveway and the pond.
Yes.
There's an existing culvert.
Yeah. And I don't even know that they will replace it, I just wanted to show it in case they wanted to before doing,
Right, if you're gonna pave
bunch
it,
of
it's-
driveway
you'd rather do it now than later.
right.
Is the stone wall at the property line, do you know?
I believe it is, yeah.
Okay, because the clearing has gone up pretty much to the stone wall. So there's not grubbing,
pretty close to
but
it.
trees have removed, yeah.
Yep.
So that's way outside the limit of work. Be within the 50, if it's on the property line.
Is that this property line on that side?
Yeah.
I assume,
Yeah, the one that
I mean,
was
this is the
17.
property line here.
Yep.
Yep.
And so we have reports that the clearing's gone over here.
Yeah, so I took a couple pictures on Saturday. So here's the edge of the pond, here's the little walking trail.
Mhm.
Then you can see that there's stumps up, you know, to the stone wall.
They didn't stump it though.
They didn't stump it.
Okay.
Yeah, we could potentially push that erosion control towards the wall.
Are you going to stump it? Or are you just gonna leave the,
I would talk to the owner, but they'll
'Cause I-
probably wanna stump it, yeah.
so, yeah, so then you need to.
Stop
measure
it or
erosion
just
control.
grind
Yeah.
them.
And I think, at least personally, I'd like to see some mitigation for work without a permit, in terms of whether it's just native plants or something similar.
So if you're basically up to the stone wall, which is roughly here, how far are you from the wetlands?
About 25
Full
feet.
scale.
It's like halfway
Yeah,
between
it's
that
about
and 50
halfway.
foot.
25-ish feet.
I don't know, the wetlands here, and they're cleared to here? That's not 25. It's 25.
No, that's,
No,
that's a contour
That's a
line.
contour line.
You see the little WFs? I think the flag.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Flag
fair
symbol
enough.
It's a
is the
longer,
same.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right, you're
That,
right.
that kind of dash line there, yeah.
Good-
I'm
good
imagining
distance.
the little dots in
Yeah.
that space.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the closest point. About 18, the wall is about 18 at its closest point.
Yeah, and there's
But,
a couple
I mean,
feet
they-
behind, yeah.
They left the wall, so we're
Yeah.
Call it 20.
probably over 20,
20,
25. I was pretty conservative looking at those wetland flags too.
Right.
Probably more than my feet wet.
Other questions or comments from the commission? Questions or comments from the public? Specials.
Well, do we want to, we don't want to close yet. I would assume we want to revise the plan.
Oh, that's true. That's true, with the new,
Mhm. I think if you can put the, like, approximate limit of clearing, and the new erosion control line, and I guess talk with the owners and what they want that to look like, you know, what that tree line, if they wanna look over the,
Yeah,
Pond or-
I'm guessing they probably want to just clean up the wall to be able to see the wall. It's an old, pretty nice farm wall.
and if there's some, maybe landscaping that they can do around the property with, you know, 15 native plants, might be better.
What's that?
15 native plants, for, as like mitigation for the clearing, or something similar. Sounds better.
Do you have anything?
Yeah.
You looking for anything in particular, or?
I can send you a list, sure.
Native plants.
Native plants, no cultivars, straight natives.
But you're right, we still want to continue until we get the right plan. I've forgotten
Yeah.
that, thank you.
Yeah, and to get the second page, you can
Right.
send it to me.
Do we know roughly how many trees have been removed within 100 feet? Give or take?
Not like an astronomical amount.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the end of the world, like,
Yeah.
you know, I think this
That's
would
what
be
I
the
figured.
limit of
I haven't
work
been out
that we
there, so
would
I
have
don't know.
approved anyways.
Yeah.
So it's not,
I mean, at the end of the day, this was a septic hauler, so it was pretty much an industrial parking lot.
I know, yeah.
It's a vast improvement.
And so I think we gotta get away from the stigma of tree clearing before the order is issued, regardless of the property.
I agree with that.
I'll say it.
Okay, that's fine. Then let's get a motion to continue till May 17th. Because we should be able to have everything before then, by then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So moved.
Oh. Second.
There we go. Thank you. Roll call.
Langer and I.
Chancelucci, aye.
Teleco eye.
Clock eye.
Dan's eye.
Great. Alrighty. So that took out this one, and that one, and that one. So now, I think we're at our last hearing of the night. We're gonna open a hearing for CB Blair Development Corp. For NOI at 323 Pleasantdale Road.
You got a DEP number on that?
We don't have a DEP number. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I can explain what we got. We got a wetland in this area here. Our driveway, here's our erosion control line, the limit of work is here. The driveway and the house and the septic. Here's the 100 foot, so we're just catching the driveway and part of the house. We've kept that as far away as we could. But we don't have a DEP number, so if there's any questions, we'll be happy to answer. If not, we wait.
Questions, comments, anyone?
How close is that to that property we had looked at a while ago? With there was a ton of ledge back in there.
I'm not sure which one.
This goes back a ways. There was development, or there was a proposed development. And I think the ledge shot it all down or something way, way back.
There is a development proposed behind this,
Yeah,
like 100 lots. But
that might,
that
Yeah,
was,
we never
that's
walked
in,
that.
that's in the process, so it's.
we did one, we did a walk way back.
Yeah, probably 15 years ago.
Yeah,
But that was, I think timing is what slowed that down.
Okay.
That's coming back. So,
so this is adjacent to?
this is in the front.
This
Yeah,
is,
in the
this is where
front.
where Steve's cut.
Yeah.
The project that's behind us will eventually go into that Deer Run project.
Yeah.
That's all connected, way in the back, all the way through to
It'll connect.
122. So, that's the next boom. I don't think it's gonna make this one.
Question or comments from the public?
Nope.
What's that?
Closest point.
Will be about 16 feet.
All right.
All right, motion continue till, well, the 17th, assuming that we'll get a number by then.
Perfect.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Clock eye.
Dan's eye.
Teleco eye.
Chancelucci, aye.
Langer and I.
Crane eye.
You almost went alphabetically that time.
Thank you. I think I'm done.
I think we're done.
All right. I'm happy about that.
Unless you have something to do with Glenwood Road and earth removal near the wetlands.
Nope. None of my business.
So Tamika, where did that come
And
from?
he's out.
That's what Bobo is here for.
Oh. So, this is on Glenwood. The question is behind. I don't remember the numbers anymore.
Down by the rail trail?
Yeah, by the rail trail. That's the right way to say it. So we were informed of tree clearing. We know that there are wetlands back there. So I think our basic question is, what's the scope of what you're working on right now?
Nothing,
Nothing?
nothing. I haven't been here since November. I got back 2 weeks ago. So I don't know who's talking about what. Earth removal or what they're thinking about, I don't know. I don't even know you put a thing on it last year. Not the work, stop work. I never heard back from you if you ever got rid of that work order or not.
Did we do a stop order?
Yeah, cease and desist
Well,
again.
I don't remember us doing a C&D. Am I just not remembering?
Yeah, you sent me a
Wouldn't be the
letter.
first time, but
No, we never did a cease and desist.
you sure it was Concom that did that?
There was,
Yeah.
there were some complaints from the three newer houses that.
Yeah,
that
with the
were
water and stuff like
constructed.
that. But there's
So
no.
what we
cease-
ended up doing was, I come to a meeting last fall,
Yeah.
and we're working on getting a notice of intent in.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't, we haven't located the septic system yet, but it's all been delineated, and it's all been surveyed. So there is one lot in between the first house and the second house up from the rail trail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
let me see if
we'll-
I can pull this up.
You know,
Oh,
as
this
soon
is when we were
as
discussing
soon
the
as
flooding?
as soon as stuff
It
dries
goes
out,
back to
Yeah,
that,
okay,
yes.
Okay.
as soon as stuff dries out, we'll do the perks and be in with a filing for that estate lot.
Any bits that, I don't know if I'm in the right, how close I am.
Yeah, we didn't do any C&D on that.
I don't remember C&D on that, that's.
Yeah, I got a letter.
I don't know what the letter said.
I got a
can't
letter.
remember, but-
No, I think I do remember us at least maybe telling Tanika to write a letter to come to a meeting to discuss.
Yeah, and I
What
had
was
attended,
going
I had
on,
attended
yeah.
a meeting or responded, I think
I
I
think
might have even
so.
responded in writing. But the lot is, the driveway's gonna be between 2201 and 2202. It's gonna be a 5-acre estate lot. Right there, yep,
Yeah, this,
yep. There's a pretty good area of uplands right at the rear of those lots.
So we got another complaint now? Clearing?
First I know, I just got home, and I
Yeah.
got it in the mail, so. I don't know who it's from or what, or who complained about me or what.
What was the date of the letter?
We
I don't know,
discussed this a couple
2-3
meetings
weeks
ago.
ago or
You asked
something?
me to send him a letter asking him to come to this meeting. This was brought up
Yeah.
maybe
Oh,
2
was that the one I
meetings ago?
wasn't there?
Yeah, I was here.
Yes.
I was
I was
here.
like, I don't have any recollection. Okay, I was not that meeting. Okay.
I was here. Somebody said they were doing stuff, and we knew the mapping showed there was stuff to the back of that
right.
property. So that's when they requested it, and I was gone. So I don't.
We didn't discuss it last
We
week.
didn't talk about it last
talk
time at
about it
all.
at the last meeting because you guys were gone.
Okay.
So you had just requested that I ask that he attend this meeting to discuss.
Okay.
There we
where
go.
we landed.
Because way back when we permitted that first lot right next to the rail trail, you had filed an NOI on that based on potential wetlands on the other side of the rail trail, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
I mean, I thought that was the only wetlands, because when we went down and walked around,
Yeah, we
the only
want,
thing that even came close was on the other side of the rail trail. There was nothing in the back.
yeah, it's pretty far back. We
Yeah.
didn't, when we did that site walk, we didn't even get to it because it was so far back. It's off all those lots,
Yeah,
or it's off the rail trail lot. It's a little bit in the back of.
no, I mean, when we were looking at
3, but
just that one lot for
Yeah.
that one house,
right.
there was nothing there that we, in fact, the comment was made back then, this goes back, God, how many years was that, Mark?
Probably 6, right, Paul? How long was Just there?
Yeah, probably 6 years.
Probably 6 years.
Yeah. And I thought it was exceptionally conservative on his part to file
Right.
for something that was on the other side of the rail trail.
Right.
Yeah, it could have went either way. I almost didn't file, but
Right.
Yeah.
we wanted to be safe mostly because there is such high groundwater over there. And this past year, groundwater's coming out of everywhere.
But the wetlands we didn't have to do any
Yeah.
walk on wetlands for that lot.
So the
Because
wetlands,
the
I,
wetlands
The
were-
map showed a back piece.
the wetlands I, the wetlands I have
Wetlands are way
delineated,
back.
the wetlands I have delineated now for the next filing are actually right about here. They come up this area.
Right, and those,
This is gonna be the lot.
There's nothing going on now?
No.
No.
Well, I work there, you know. I've been there 50 years.
Well, I know.
yeah,
I don't know.
Are you moving dirt right now?
Yeah, for
Back
across
there?
town,
Back
from
there?
one side of town to the other.
Yeah, but there?
No, I do.
Well, yeah, any work is where he's been forever, up behind
Yeah,
22,
he's up by the barn.
2204.
Yeah, I'm gonna,
Yeah,
I'm
but
telling you,
you're-
that's a separate lot. That's
Yeah, you're
another
playing by the
lot.
barn.
Yeah,
That's a whole nother lot.
Right,
That's an acre and a half there.
right. But you're not down,
No, I'm pretty much right there.
you're not near the rail trail,
Not at all.
no.
Not close.
actually, I do remember now, in the fall, I had sent, because it was a complaint of tree clearing, so I had sent historic aerial photos. Going back, I think,
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
06.
Yep.
Well, I bring trees in from jobs. I cut it up, I burn some, resell a little bit. That's about
Yeah.
it. You know, nothing big deal.
All right, so this was just follow up on a complaint.
that was
Right.
follow up on a
Okay.
complaint, and that's why we just asked, because we know it's that piece. and we
Someone
don't-
complained. Do I have to write the new complaint? Or no?
I think it was, that was anonymous, wasn't it?
I
That one
Don't
was,
even
if I
remember
remember
more,
right.
but we're hearing that there's no work going on.
No,
There.
no, I
So
haven't even been
I
yet.
think we'll put this under the no action.
Right.
Yeah, all right.
how soon do you expect to do it, NOI?
As soon as we get a perk in, I'm trying to wait for the ground to dry. a
Yeah,
little
wait
bit.
for John.
Good luck. Will it rain
How
tomorrow?
many trees can I cut in
The
there, like,
leaves,
you
the
know?
leaves will help.
You guys keep complaining about cutting trees. How much can I cut? I mean,
Well, you-
can I
you
clear
can
the
cut
whole
10
thing if I
cord.
want, or
I mean,
what?
Well, except for the wetland stuff, except
That's
for,
all, yeah, that's fine.
so.
You can take
Well,
10
no,
foot a year for
no,
personal
it's-
use. I
it's-
mean,
Well, I've been 50 years now, I haven't
yeah.
touched
Because now we're
nothing.
talking about the buffer, not just the wetland.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, is there a law against it, cutting your own
Just,
trees?
Mark, just show them where the wetlands are, and the rest of it, we really have no jurisdiction on.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, based on the last filing, it sounds like it's pretty much a no-touch even in the buffer for clearing, right?
I don't know.
Technically, an alteration is tree cutting.
Yeah.
So tree removal, regardless of stumping, is an alteration of the buffer zone.
That's why I did the last one,
Yeah.
the 15 trees, because it wasn't filed first.
Oh, okay.
That's why. Whereas it's filed as, hey, we're doing because it's part of a project.
No, commissions are always back and
Oh,
forth.
yeah, but that's,
The line on what is alteration has always gone back and
Right.
forth. So if
Yeah.
that's
right. But that's
that's
one of
the
those,
line
because
that-
it's there, it's the line of just notice first because it's part of another project.
I think the people, some of them there don't really like us, so they're just complaining for nothing, or anything I do.
You're not here for a popularity contest, Bobo?
I don't know,
I mean,
I've been having a lot of trouble.
I don't skip this.
I've been having a lot of trouble.
Are we writing your name in for selectmen this time?
I won't do that, John. I
So,
did the planning board for 10 years, that's enough.
yeah, so basically, a lot of it shifted to the fact if the tree clearing is gonna be part of a construction project,
Yes, but
they want to, no, but that's kinda how it's
No.
gone now.
no. If he's not doing any cutting in the buffer, we have no jurisdiction,
Right,
Agreed.
that's what Scott's saying.
Correct.
period.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's why I was saying to Mark, show him where the wetlands are. If he
Right.
stays out of that,
Right.
we don't have anything to say about it.
Right,
Yeah, the lower half is flagged, the upper is.
right,
Right.
right. Well,
But whatever that is, whether it's
Right.
eventually gonna have a house there, we don't have a plan in front of us.
Right.
Right.
Right, so if you're gonna work, if he's gonna cut, down in here, we got nothing to say about it.
Yes, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe. But I was explaining why the last one he just did, they got the hand whacked on because it's within the buffer.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of looking, going, what?
Yeah,
We
so
gotta
just-
he's kind of like, I'm confused.
Yeah.
So
I'm
that's,
not confused, I know it goes.
you know what it is,
goes every other way.
but that's kind of where it's,
Depends on the wind.
that's kind of where it's shifting a little bit at this point.
Understood.
Okay. Huh?
No, it's
Oh,
agreed,
yeah,
Jimmy,
I
to
know. But it's like, it's almost over, so I'm like, should I just stay?
It's never over. It's never.
Don't say that.
This is guaranteed not to take more than another hour. This part.
So,
God,
Bobo,
just
you're all
no.
set.
45 minutes, we don't get
You're all
that
set,
date,
right?
Thank you.
You're good.
Thank you
All right,
very much.
thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Have a nice night.
Welcome
You too.
back.
Okay.
Next, yes, resident discussion with respect to Kenwood Court and Wetlands. So that's what I had up there before, but let's start with, here's the map. I assume that's why you're here?
Yes, it is.
Please introduce yourselves.
Thank you so much for sitting here.
Yes.
You're a brave soul.
So my, Jeff Cahill, this is my wife Julia. And so we had an offer accepted on this piece of land for the 13 acres. And basically, I have a short list of questions to just understand what the extent is to, you know, how much I can alter the land or where I can put the house, et cetera, et cetera. And so I have some civil drawings if you want them, if that would help.
Well, there's that. One of the first places I go is to this, that at least tells us where DEP thinks wetlands are. So let me go and get to your part of town again. That's where, it was actually focused on this property.
Yeah, I saw
I
it.
turned that up.
You were
Now I
right
just
there.
need to find it.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
It auto-zoomed?
Wait, Forest Hill. That's Kenwood. I think we're right here.
That looks like where my brain feels.
One of your brain cells?
One of my brain cells, yeah.
All right.
Just one.
That's
good one?
Kenwood.
No, not a good
That's
one.
Walnut. Is it this one right here?
Yes, that one right there.
Come on.
Yep.
Catch up. There we go.
Okay.
So, this has some mapped wetlands directly on. It has this stream,
Yeah.
and you're near wetlands here.
Right.
So from a Conservation Commission point of view, we're going to care about stuff that's near the wetlands and this stream. Basically, anything, do it properly, you should pay someone to delineate the wetlands so that you can say, this is where a wetland scientist will say, this is the formal limit, and we'll go over and say, yeah, that looks right.
Well,
And once we agree to that, then the limit of work and what's jurisdictional becomes very clear.
Right. So the civil drawing that I brought shows a 100-foot wetland buffer, a 200-foot watershed protection zone, and a 400 watershed protection zone.
Oh, great.
So I was wondering if,
Yeah, let's take a look.
Thank you. You're amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have you talked to DCR at all?
I haven't, I don't know if the seller has. I'm not
So
sure.
this would be lot 9, right? You guys would be lot 9, the 15.348 acres?
It's labeled as lot 9.
Okay.
So in this map on lot 9, there's a little bit of work in the 100,
Yeah.
but it's mostly just, yeah, grading of land. Quite frankly, the 400-foot,
He's inside the 400, so he's got to definitely see DCR.
yes, but he's not within the 200.
It can't be within the 200.
Right, because you can't have any sewer at all. Nothing related to sewer in the 200 foot. You're not. You're outside the 200. And I don't think there's a problem having it in the 400.
So is your goal to, are you considering maybe changing the layout? Is that what you were thinking of, or was this?
Hey,
what-
Peter,
We
there's
did
already
have-
no order conditions on this lot.
How old?
I don't know. Jimmy must be watching because Jimmy just said there's already an order conditions on this lot. It's already
I was gonna say,
conditioned.
how did you get that top secret?
Well,
That was scary.
I'm like, I don't know, he's typing, but yes, this has already been conditioned, depending on dates,
All right, hold on.
which may make this much
This-
simpler for you.
Well, it
Was
does.
that 2021?
Well, except that unless the plan matches what the initial
It was
plan was.
last year,
Last year.
Yeah.
so it's modern.
Oh, so I don't even need
This
to look
was
at
Rob
it.
McNeil.
Yeah, McNeil did this when they were in last time.
Oh,
So we did-
this is that.
Yes, this is that.
This is like a couple months ago.
Yeah, this is not old.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Susie, yeah. So it's not an old order. So there's already a recent order issued.
Okay.
Yep.
So basically,
Oh, he's got it. So-
if you were to build
That'll look familiar.
Yeah.
this as it's laid out on the plan, it's already been permitted from the Concom.
Okay.
So you wouldn't have to go through like what you saw earlier with the
Yes.
public hearings.
Okay.
Because you've already been done.
Are you just buying a lot, or are you having Jimmy build a house?
No, just buying the lot.
Okay.
I think DCR will be your biggest restriction on what you can do with the land because of that watershed protection zone. So it may be a better use of your time to have a discussion with DCR and understanding where those watershed protection lines are. Because like they were saying earlier, you can't really do anything in that 200 foot, which I think a lot of the property is from what I'm
Okay.
remembering.
DC already has a ruling on it.
Oh, what do they say?
He has no idea, but he says DC already has a ruling. It's already done.
Ah.
So, again, Jimmy has all this. The stuff's been done on this.
Yeah.
So this is easy enough to pull. Are you at?
Are you buying it from Jim?
Yes,
Yes.
they're buying it from Jimmy, but they're just buying the lot. So all this stuff that you're asking, there's already been rulings on. Yeah, he says they have DC has ruling. It's all done. Yeah, so there's rulings on all this. It's basically looking it up. So unless you're asking us for definitions of what they're saying you can do, I mean,
See,
okay, go ahead.
even if I had,
You don't understand what they're saying.
right, exactly. So like specifically, I'd want to understand from
Oh.
you guys who do the approvals.
If you if you get kind of whatever Susie has in terms of permits, and if you forward them to Mika, one of us would be happy to.
We'll walk you through it.
Yeah.
We'll tell you we'll interpret it for you.
Yeah.
That you're looking for an interpretation of what all the wording means.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Were you expecting to make changes to what's drawn here, or were you gonna follow basically this plan?
We had an interest in making some changes.
Okay.
Mostly in pushing the house a little bit further back, which might put it inside the 100-foot buffer.
That,
That would require an amended order of
It
conditions.
would.
It's
so
an
not,
amendment.
it wouldn't need necessarily another order of
No, it's an
conditions.
No, I said
Amendment.
amended.
Amendment,
Yeah, we need an
yeah.
amendment.
So yeah. So again, if we can look them up for you for what we did, you can get them from DCR, and we'll be more than happy to interpret them for
Well,
you.
DCR's already got a,
Right, but
Right.
he doesn't have them.
right,
He wants them.
why doesn't he have a conversation with Jim Soucy and get them?
He said because Jimmy just said DCR has them. I'm sure Jimmy has them, but yeah. So
I mean, that would be-
put it this way, you got to do a little gathering, but the homework's been done for you, and then
Yeah.
we will interpret to tell you what it means.
Okay.
Happily.
And
So even then, you've seen us. We've permitted things that occur within the 100-foot buffer zone.
We're only so scary.
Right.
That's
And,
right.
and it's one of those, depending on your adjustments, if you want to make adjustments, we can tell you if it's an adjustment or a big deal.
okay.
Because the adjustment, which is an amendment, is not a hugie. But we're going to go, if you do this, now you kind of start new, if you change too much.
Yes, your expenses.
So
would go-
the I don't want to call it the problem because it's not a problem. The thing. Let me come over and talk.
Yep.
Oh my God, he's pulling up a chair.
I'm kind of laughing. Like, who's sending your messages?
Okay. So the thing you need to be careful
This
of
was that,
is this wetland area here.
yeah, Rutland's guy who.
And I think that's the one that's so.
Brother?
It looks to me like there's a ton of fill
Yeah, who said he used to
going
do
in.
work in town, right?
Yeah, he's doing
Okay.
Nantucket now.
And I say that
Yes.
because these are all, normally there are
The engineer.
dark
was.
lines for
Mhm.
changes
The one guy.
and light lines when topography isn't changing.
One guy.
So it looks as though there's a bunch of fill
He's
going
very
in.
knowledgeable though.
And if so, well, if you push the house back, that pushes the limit of work and the filling back. And the closer you get to this line, that's when we become more particular.
We're just thinking about.
Right, so again, I don't know what the lay of the land is. I don't know how steep I mean, these lines being this close together says this is proposed to be pretty
This is
steep.
Tacos, right?
Yes.
And
Okay.
there is a limit to how steep it can be.
Peter,
Just
those
from a
lines are
physics
1
point of
foot.
view.
Peter,
They're
those
1
lines
foot?
are 1 foot increments.
Contours?
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
So it looks like a lot.
Oh my, you're right, it looks more than it actually is. So it might not be as bad as I was fearing.
It's not that steep. I have been out there.
Okay.
Holding.
So,
We're playing
I'm
three.
not
Peter.
We're
saying
playing
come
three
back with a
dot.
formal
I
plan.
don't know
Yes.
if you remember, I think you and I walked the slot with the
Yeah,
wetland
with
scientist.
McNeil.
I'm forgetting his name,
Yeah.
but we walked it pretty thoroughly with him,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's not
Oh, that
it's not
was,
as steep as it seems.
It
Right.
looks bad, but it's
It-
really
I-
not
As
that.
I say,
Not bad.
look, I just don't know how much of this is fill, because I don't see any of the dull lines that would indicate present topography. I only see the dark lines.
There's dotted.
So the dashed contours are existing,
Existing.
and the solid ones are
Oh, that's what
proposed.
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too many different ways. All right, so the good news is there's no changes here, because these are all
Okay,
dashed
so I'd do
lines.
it different,
Okay.
but that's okay.
So
This is
it
just weird.
suggests
Yeah, not much
that
fill.
moving the house back
Most of
here
it for, yeah.
is
It's not
probably
that much.
likely to
I
need
think
some
it
more
was
fill, because
the
this is
septic
already sloping
that
away.
needs the most finagling on
But
this lot, right?
that's
Because
fill,
of the-
and
200,
if you
400,
keep
and
all of that on the
200.
100 foot, we have
Yeah.
nothing to say about it.
Cause I think
Yeah,
that's
might
why
have
it's
been
tucked in this.
So what about
One
tree
little
clearing? I know this
corner.
is a limit of
I
work.
think so.
What if we push that back into the
It's
winter?
the
other
same
I
thing, it's
remember
just
is I think
if any work, including
this
clearing, that
is
crosses that 100 foot boundary
a perennial stream
is where we get involved, because we say,
but
we
I
bless
think
it or
that
we
aligns
don't,
with
although
zone
the
A.
don't is a
Yeah,
very.
so as long as they're outside of the zone A, which they
Yes.
kind of
They're outside
need
of
to be
two, they're in
anyways,
four.
they're
Right, because this is the original
Yeah.
plan,
As
so
long as they're
everything
outside too.
in
That
this
side of two, it doesn't
black
really.
line,
Cause that'd be river
which I believe is the
flow
erosion
Right,
control.
right.
And that's not on us.
The proposed
Riverfront.
erosion
Riverfront.
control.
Right.
That's,
Zone A is not.
Right, so,
But it
we've already
overlaps with
said,
zone.
sure, okay.
And any
yeah,
structures
I mean,
we
we've,
shed in the
we've
100
played with this
foot
property
wetland
forever.
buffer
I mean,
would
I
be
think when I first came on the
for
board
us to
back
come
when,
here.
is that?
Actually, sheds are 50 feet.
Oh, that property.
What do you- Oh, 50 feet.
50 feet from the wet,
Oh.
right, it's only a 50-foot buffer for accessory
Oh, okay.
things.
Okay,
So that doesn't count for pools are not accessories,
Correctly.
but want to put up a shed, it's 50 feet, and if you're closer than 50 feet, we don't
But if
even
it
get involved.
requires
field and
to
then
clear trees,
the tree line
you have to kind of.
Yes,
There
exactly.
actually wasn't even that much clearing going on.
Yeah.
Is there like,
'Cause this
is there like a specific tree you're trying to avoid clearing, or a specific amount of trees, or is it just kind of any trees? Do you know?
Melissa, do you want to take that one?
What was it?
So say you do need to clear some more trees
Mhm.
within the 100-foot buffer.
Yep.
Is it a certain amount of trees that concerns you, or types of trees, or?
It's usually the amount, because one of the interests of the Wetland Protection Act is habitat too, so we would think of it in that sense. And also just protection of wetland resource areas, like the roots of trees and shrubs are so beneficial for water quality, quantity, etc. So when you
Very
remove a certain amount of trees, the water moves so much faster. So you want to make sure that there's a balance of how much you remove to how much you are then putting
Absolutely.
back in the ground that isn't just sheet flowing
That's how it's
off.
supposed to work, Tamika.
If you say, like, just for a very specific example, if you removed some trees that are there now and planted, like, fruit trees, for instance, is that a wash, or?
Well, I mean, if you're really getting technical, no, it's not a wash. In our eyes, anything that you can put back that's a benefit to the ecosystem and the pollinators is a benefit. So like earlier I was talking about mitigation. So mitigation for disturbance in the buffer zone is, in that sense, it was more like a violation mitigation. But when it's more when you start to clear acres is kind of when we start getting a little bit more concerned. The low-lying shrubs and the overgrowth isn't as much, but it's the when you have mature trees that are coming down and are being taken off the property and they're grubbed. And so it's really all that soil disturbance, because it's not even the cutting of the trees, it's ripping the stumps out in the roots, and basically you have disturbed every inch of topsoil there is. So there's no root stabilization, water just runs, and it's more making sure that the sediment doesn't reach wetlands, but
Mhm.
also that, you know, what the end result of the property, the use will be, doesn't negatively impact those resources either.
And it's not that you can't, you
Yeah.
just have to tell us before you
Yeah.
do it.
Right.
Because as some of these you've seen before you, the whole thing's in 100 feet. And you're playing 15, 20 feet off the line. So it's not that you can't, just
Yep.
tell us what you want to do beforehand.
Okay.
So
I think we.
it's kind of, it's confusing, because it's like, you can do it, but you can't do it.
Yeah.
You
It's not-
can,
it's not
but you
black-
gotta
it's
tell,
not black and
you
white.
gotta tell us that you're gonna do it, and then we go, okay. Or we go, well, you know, what's the best?
Okay.
And we aren't, you know, I think
She
as
bites,
a-
she bites.
Sometimes. And I think as a commission, we're understanding, especially for property owners that are trying to build their own house, that this is your property. And we still, you know, you still need to comply with the state regulations, but, you know, I think as Rutland with the small town community, we still want you to be able to use your land, and that kind of feeling. So
Okay.
getting that happy medium, you know, if you want to go into the 100-foot buffer zone, I don't think we would say no. It's just, you know, making sure that it's conditioned properly so that you don't impact those resources in the future.
Okay.
We do, I was gonna point out, we do like to see a 25-foot no disturb zone.
Yeah.
We don't have a bylaw, so we can't enforce it,
And we can
but it's
strongly
something,
recommend.
yes, it's something that we ask applicants to provide. And if that is provided, then we look upon that pretty favorably.
You mean like a 25-foot buffer from a wetland?
Yes,
Yes.
that first 25 feet essentially is untouched.
So that
Left
just
left
provides
as
that
is.
good
Yeah,
buffer.
yeah.
So I think you have, if you wanna, you would have to go back with an engineer, I think, you know, whether it's the same one that they utilized or one of your own, you know, and say, this is what the approved plan was, and talk with the engineer about what you're hoping to gain. So if that's a little bit more distance from your abutting neighbors, maybe a little bit more lawn, then they would be the ones to be able to put that on paper to bring back to us for an amendment.
Glenn Kravosky was the
Ah,
name.
Glenn, yes.
That was the wetland scientist?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. He was really good. He was very
He's
knowledgeable.
good.
Yeah, Glenn he's done some pretty significant projects.
Yeah.
I've seen some
Yeah.
of his projects.
We were chatting that morning, and he was telling me.
See some of the stuff
So
he did in
the
Westboro.
benefit is that the hard work in terms of the wetland delineation has been completed. That's a good cost saver on your end. If it's just kind of figuring out what you want your layout to be.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, if it's just kind of pushing it, probably even 50 feet, you know, out, there's I think room to do that.
Yeah, I actually have all the orders right here.
Huh?
I have the orders right here.
Okay.
Nobody likes to show.
Yeah, send him over to me.
Yeah, for some reason, Patty sent you the wrong ones the first time, so so now he sent them to me. So now I gotta figure out how to send them
So
from my
again, just to
messenger to you.
reinforce,
Well, I-
this line,
So I have the orders,
that's a
I just
line you
have
don't
the
want to
DCR
cross at all,
separate.
because that's
Yeah.
state.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
You still almost certainly need,
Was
well,
it 2021?
if they've already
Yes.
done their
Something
ruling,
like-
it's
okay, so
fine.
we would have it
Any
like-
changes as
Because
long
we
as you
did- it was
stay
8
out
of-
of the 200, because
hold on a
that's
second.
where
It might be
it
more
becomes
We signed off on
much
it,
more
signed at
complicated.
8/4/21.
What this
Oh, perfect.
town
All right.
rules are.
Okay.
8/4/21
But-
were our orders, so. Let
This way,
I have too many.
there are lots of ways
reasons
this
to
can,
go
there's a
Yep.
lot of work you can do,
me see.
and again,
Because I
not
think
Peter.
opposed to
Want the
changing,
Want the
normal
DEP number?
situations it's only
to
50.
help you out?
having
Yeah.
But I
an
think
amended
naturally
notice
I
of
have all
intent.
that.
to say,
Okay.
This is our new plan, this is what was approved, this is what
Right.
So I
needs
think
to.
that's why it's in that tiny
Peter.
little corner.
I think you're
Because I
right.
think that's even outside
Yeah.
of
Got the conditions.
What's that?
Yeah.
We have the conditions.
Okay,
Oh, no, it's
Does it
like
matter?
in the corner.
No, it's all set.
Yeah.
We 8/4/21.
Looks like it is.
yeah.
Yes.
So we're good.
Before you leave,
But it's outside. the
why don't you
200,
give
so
your
it's-
email address to Tamika?
Oh, we've already,
Okay, so you can
Communicated.
send that stuff right over.
Outside the 100
I'll give them
foot. That's what I was
everything
trying to
they
remember, is the,
yep, I was trying
if
to.
we wanted to make changes, it might be,
So a lot of our words sound scary,
that
Yeah.
might
but
make it
we try not
challenging,
to.
but not,
Okay. Yeah.
seems doable.
Oh, I
Tamika.
think so.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Jimmy has
More
DCR stuff in his
wiggle room
office.
Okay.
Yeah,
thank you.
They have like
Have a
this
good
whole
day.
corner.
Thanks,
that's
you
right,
too.
yeah, yeah.
Now,
Enjoy.
now is the time. That was a good lesson. That was very good.
Now the fun's over.
Yeah.
Well, you have my cell phone number, you know, if you want to get started
Yeah.
on something, we'll
If
keep
you're
you
free
in the loop.
Thursday.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Yeah,
we
I'll
should
touch base.
probably have a side meeting, maybe you, the three of us?
Yep.
Just to get together and talk about some things and sort of narrow down all the possibilities that we've got.
Yeah. Yeah, I mentioned to Melissa this Thursday, but I don't know.
Skip, you got some chores at the farm for her, right?
What?
You got some chores at the farm for her. That's
Oh,
where
yeah,
you
we got all
start.
kinds.
You start at the farm, you
You
work
have
your way
a
up, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then
I'll-
work it out, let me know when to
Okay.
be and where, and I'll
Got it.
manage.
Okay.
Yeah,
That sounds good.
I'll probably text you tomorrow. I just gotta check my work schedule.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it was nice meeting everybody.
Very nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
Meeting you.
See you
Good luck with
all.
finals.
Hope we didn't
Yep.
scare you off.
Yeah. No.
Another victim. Did I say that out
Oh,
loud?
you're not supposed to
say that, Peter.
Fuck, that was the out loud part, wasn't it?
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Thanks. All right, so we need a motion to add item 3, discussion item 3, because it came in yesterday.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Dan's eye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Schlanger and I.
Telco-I.
Hawkeye.
Crane eye. All right, so this is the email that I received. Yeah, assuming I can find it. Oh, good Lord, where did it go? Oh, that's the one. Paperwork for that small lot next to Bay State Hydraulics.
I was going to talk about this.
Oh, were you?
I got the phone call first.
Oh,
Well, go ahead.
If I can
So,
claim.
where the hell is this besides
I'm sorry.
being on 68?
Sorry, Dave,
I.E.
sorry.
Trafton property.
Where Matt
But
Trafton
Trafton had
had
his
his
stuff.
junkyard there.
Nah, okay.
And now it is owned by Jake.
Is it?
Yes. Or process of being owned by Jake.
Yeah.
So, basically what it... You want to talk? You want me to talk?
You talk, because all I was going to do was read this.
Okay. So I got a call from the neighbor,
Mhm.
and dumping this, that, whatever. So basically what it is, there's a 24-inch pipe that's failed that goes under the front. That's drainage. So yeah, they're dumping, but they're also replacing the pipe. They're fixing the failed pipe. So it kind of comes down to a maintenance issue, because it comes from Hubbardson side
Oh.
and drains through. It's actually a collapsed pipe.
All right, hold on. Let's actually pull the property up so that everybody, or at least I, can see. It's 68, right?
I looked at today, I think it's like 555 area.
Yeah, it's right at the line.
Yeah.
I think I zoomed out so much I have no idea where
You're
that
too
is.
far north.
You still in Massachusetts?
That said Canada.
That's too far.
It's too far south.
Isn't that Iceland?
You're actually not far off,
Well,
right
yeah,
there.
I'm pretty close.
Hey,
Yeah,
look,
because there's the town line.
hey, look, penguins.
You're gonna be right over in here.
Penguins.
Oh.
There you go.
It's this little piece.
Right.
Down in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yep.
That's so tiny.
Wow.
Yeah, it is.
That is. That is.
I admittedly don't get to this side of town very often.
Me neither.
You don't come down with us slums, eh?
I know, I
Go
guess not.
swimming. Nice,
So
thanks.
sorry.
So-
Although now I will.
So,
We have to go through
so
Hubbardston
as
now.
you can see where the wetland is now,
Yeah.
there's a pipe that goes under Bay State Hydraulics.
Okay.
Okay, where entry is. There's another pipe that comes down. That comes
It
through
come-
here.
the
It's
pipe
and it's
comes
actually
through this
collapsed.
property,
Okay.
But it's surface drainage over here.
Oh, it's in the
Right.
middle of the lot?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
so
not on the
so it
road.
comes through. It's not. It was one of those back when on this. It was going back and forth. Is it Zone A stuff? Is it this? Is it that? And back then, the town even ruled on it that it was no. This is surface water. It's road drainage of when it collects in the spring.
Okay.
So what they're doing, why it came up is Jake's dumping dirt right now because they're doing septic in town, so he's just dumping dirt. And
Oh, he's using this as a waste
right
station.
right now he's just but he's gonna need it anyways because they're gonna develop it. There is a design for a 50 by 30 building with a three bedroom septic that was done and approved. So eventually, there's no permits to build, but it is what it is. But there's stuff's done on that. So basically, it's one of those. Well, I'm gonna dump it because I'm gonna need it, and it's in town. And they're gonna repair the pipe that's collapsed there now, so it continues. He did reach out and talk to the neighbor yesterday after the fact. He went up and talked to him.
This poor guy, because it was considered a Zone A,
Mm-hmm.
this poor guy, we had to permit him to drill horizontally underneath the river
Mhm.
to get to a new septic system up here.
And then it
I vaguely
and then it
think
became
I
and then
vaguely
and
remember
you came
that.
on and wrote then it became a non. Oh well, that really wasn't zone A.
That was, this one we did, I gotta say 15 years ago anyway.
Which way does it flow?
Say that again?
I'm gonna guess
does
that
it
it
flow?
flows from here
Down?
to there.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
flowing this way.
Yes.
That's as close as the hydrological
Yeah.
connections you're gonna find.
So
is this surface drain.
So I
It
so
runs
this,
from here to
yeah.
here.
So
So it does connect wetland
Does
to
connect
wetland?
them.
Oh, wow.
but on drainage and a lot of it's surface.
Yeah.
So basically what happened, like I said, I got the initial call, so I called Jake. Jake went up and talked to him, and I didn't get it. And after that, I got nothing. I tried twice after that to talk to where the complaint came from, and I got nothing back. And I'm like, okay, but it didn't circulate back again. So it was one of
We
those,
also-
after the contact was made and stuff was explained. I'm like, okay, if there was an issue, I mean, he knows my number.
We also
That would've
issued
come.
a permit for this driveway.
Mm-hmm.
This is not accurate. This
That
driveway,
wouldn't shock
I
me.
hope
this
not. That's a
driveway has
driveway.
now gone like this.
Yeah.
So they
So-
can bring the tractor trailers in.
Right.
So Jake is repairing or
Yeah.
replacing the entire culvert
The pipe.
or pipe, I
Yeah.
should say. Yeah.
I will try to reach out to the complainant again tomorrow.
Okay.
Just because I want verification of, okay, do we need to continue? Do we not need to continue?
Mhm.
I mean, we know the roughs or everything we've known, but okay, if we have to continue and dig, we'll dig more.
Oh yeah, Dick threatened to be here and he's not. Okay.
Only if you clammed up.
Dick?
Who?
True.
Only if you clammed up.
Who?
Tick.
Dig who?
Williams.
William.
So, but I will reach out and I'll send something back to everybody because again, just because there was conversation back and forth, I did try 3 times to call David to say, okay, not that it's going to go anywhere because it's going to come up anyways.
And one of the things you might want to ask them is how high the water is up there.
It's high right now because it's backed up pretty
Not
good.
bad.
Yeah, so it would be
So
to his advantage.
it's
to
going to
get
be an
that pipe
advantage, but the whole fact is, it looks if there's a pipe here, even if it's collapsed, but you're dumping dirt, well, that
It
looks
looks
even
like,
worse.
yeah.
And that's been
Granted.
that's been a heated property anyways for a long time. Well, I mean,
It's so small.
yeah, but the guy was running a salvage business out of it.
Okay.
There is that thing that goes through, and you're like, well, you got a salvage business on a river, even though it's not. So, and then even like now it came up because there's like 16 no trespassing signs all around it, but people are dumping property, or not property, trash on it.
Yeah.
So it's one of those you go. It's a very heated piece of property that there's been a lot of eyes on. So,
Right. Okay.
so
Well, I'm
I-
glad you had that information.
yeah, but
Thank
so
you.
I will reach back out and I'll send the generic email of, okay, we need to play with this, we need to work on this more. Or, because I told David, I said, we have a meeting. You want to come in, we can go. He said, and he says, no, you do your thing. So I'm doing my thing.
So my question to the commission is, should we expect even some just repair paperwork? I'm not saying a full-blown NOI.
I think I had a couple questions. How much of the pipe is being replaced? All of it?
I think he's going to replace the whole piece because it's that bad.
From end to end?
From
From
here.
property line, no, from property line. So
Oh, just from property line.
property line.
Okay.
The piece on David's side when he did the driveway, they did.
Okay.
The piece on the entrance to Bay State or whatever, that's
Yeah,
all
that's
done.
already done.
But it's the piece that
Okay.
comes out from there that's all on,
Gotcha.
i.e. Jake's
Now
property.
Jake's property.
And that's the last piece of pipe.
And that's
There's
the
no
last piece of pipe.
all
Then
the way
there's,
Right.
then there's
So-
nothing there.
So he's replacing this little piece here.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
That's going to allow it to do what it's supposed to be doing.
I'm gonna hate asking this question, but I'll ask it anyway. If I click, even though it says it here, we know that it's really back here, right?
Mm-hmm.
The rail wetland line.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Mass Mapper shows.
Right.
I was gonna say Oliver, but it's not Oliver.
And where's my distance marker?
Interesting. It is.
It's back here in a way that I can't see.
Here, let me see if I can do it.
Well, you got
Let's
26.
just get that out of the way. That's all.
Measure it.
123 feet. Guess what?
But, yeah. So, you there.
Yeah.
So we
I will- I will-
don't need paperwork, is
We
what I'm
don't, but I'm going to, if you don't,
Highly
do you want
suggest.
me to move out of this, or you want me to continue with this?
saying. No, continue, please.
Okay.
I don't.
Well, again, I know Jake, and he used
Yeah,
to
exactly.
work. But again, no, but he used to work for me, so I want to make sure this doesn't bother anybody. I will grab him, and we will go.
Go. Be gone.
But we'll go look. just, well, again, another one of those, even though everybody knows everybody's parties, you know what,
Yeah.
eyes are better than,
Yeah.
oh, you told me.
Yeah, I don't want, let's
So
not
I'll,
get confusing.
Report back,
I don't
sir.
think, I don't think I can do it tomorrow, but Thursday, because I'm leaving again Friday.
Of course you
Where you
are.
going tonight?
No, I'm just going to Ranger to build a house. Not no Jamaican, nowhere warm. Or she gonna go to work.
Ew.
I'm more than just beautiful.
I'm glad that you think so, Scott.
Ditto.
So yeah, so
But
probably,
anyway,
so probably,
You're beautiful too, Joe.
So Thursday, I'll grab him and we'll go look at it and I'll do my email.
Okay,
And if we need more eyes on it,
we'll do
go.
that.
Because we know we can get on it anyways.
Right.
Anything else we gotta look at in town? Well, I already looked. Like I said, I already looked at the whole stuff.
Right.
Because as I'm talking to Glenn, I was pouring both head walls in the first one poured. They're gonna start the second one. Well, anything else in town we gotta look at? It's,
I don't know of anything else, other than just the stuff we should be looking at periodically.
I mean, the front of Bryce is decent. I mean, drive by it all the time. I mean, again, it's worth looking at again because that pond's in there, but that's pretty good. There's really nothing.
Yeah, I see the Turkey Hill ones every day.
Yeah.
Just destroying the road.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
We'll take a ride down Glenwood Street too.
over to Bobo's.
Just, I can't believe somebody says he's moving dirt and he's not moving dirt.
He's got equipment down behind his house up by the
Huh?
barn.
As you're 30 feet off the road, clean all that up and
Okay.
you look and see.
That's
The driveway, the
the
access.
The access, and that's far enough away to a point. But if he's playing out back,
And that
Well,
was
look,
that was our big concern.
well, that was
Is he
but
doing
that's
stuff out
but
back
that's
that we
why
didn't see?
asked him directly. Doing nothing. Well, I just got back. I don't care if you got back.
He just got back, but he's
Hickey's here.
It doesn't mean he doesn't have people doing it.
Right. So, okay, we'll do that. So those two. Anything else? Well, we're out. Won't
Think of
meander.
anything specific.
Yeah.
No, I mean, been up to Bryce enough that I can see. They're not doing. Well, you know what? We're down Brittenell. We'll do that loop down Brittenell to that second entrance. We haven't been down there in a while.
No.
Remember we first did we
yeah.
first did that site walk?
Yep.
Because they should be playing that those
Mm-hmm.
they're
rail
in,
crops.
they're
Or
in,
whatever you wanna call
and
them.
Glenn should be getting ready to do those walks too.
Okay.
But you know what? We haven't been over there since the fall.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we went over there.
No, we're at the other side.
Oh, that's right.
We were at the pump station side. We weren't the
Yeah.
other side.
Jared, when you and I go and look at
Okay.
the Woodside Ave
Yeah.
at Main Street,
Yeah.
let's continue walking back to Phase 4 to see what's going on.
Sure.
Mhm.
There's a lot more houses in there. They really
Well,
kick
they-
in.
There's no,
There's no wetland ones.
no, I don't know that they have, no, there are no building permits for Phase 4 yet. So I'm just wondering what they've done for road.
Oh, okay.
Because he's got to be getting ready to attack that crossing.
Yeah, because I think most of those lots are sold by the crossing. And just weird.
Well,
knowledge. Just weird.
yeah.
Just,
Mhm.
yeah, just thought.
Peter, did you want to go out this Saturday morning?
No, it's
Okay.
town meeting day.
Oh, that's
right.
Oh,
4
yeah, I'm
o'clock
busy.
at Glenwood School, everybody, town meeting. Even though there are no general bylaws up, so the reason that it was being started at 4 has been taken away, but I'm not bitter or disappointed or anything about that.
Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, right. All right. Google Drive organization. Come here.
Is that a nonprofit?
What, me? I wish I were a nonprofit. No, I wish I were a
Why?
for-profit.
Yeah, I was like, why would
Yeah.
you want to be a nonprofit? Not to say that nonprofits are bad.
Right.
Non-profits don't mean you can't take a salary.
I know. That's true.
Oh, that's this week.
but you
Let's
just
go
can't,
back to here.
sit in your piles of money though.
So here's what I wanted to talk about, to at least begin discussions about. This is the Google Drive that Tamika keeps. Obviously, the most recent meeting is here, and then there'll be one for the next meeting when she starts collecting information. And she's got all the notices of intent and all the RDAs and all of that good stuff. My first thought is, how do we organize this in a way that any of us can find the information we're looking for quickly? And I'm going to maintain that having to know that something was done in 2021 or 2022 or whatever is, yeah, right now it's okay, but it won't be good in 4 months and with my brain. I won't remember what year anything was done. Yes, go ahead. I think you were about to say-
finish.
No. Well,
I want to hear what you say.
this goes back to something we talked about a long time ago. The Excel spreadsheet
Yeah.
of DEP numbers versus
Address.
addresses
Yeah.
versus parcel ID versus whatever. That if we had that, and they had in that spreadsheet had in it the link to the right place on that page for each of those things, that's probably as well as we can do for organization for us.
Yeah, you're looking at it, a spreadsheet, using it as an index.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
And you could search it.
An electronic Rolodex? Wow.
Yeah, pretty much.
Technology.
So
It's amazing.
there's a lot up here that I see, and I don't have an issue with any of it. I like the fact that big projects have their own folders and all of that,
Yes.
and how we would do Bryce Lemon with the big and each of the individual house lots. I don't know right now.
That's
Well-
easy enough. You do because you have a road plan. You have a phase one, so that's not terrible.
You
But
gotta
all
follow-
the, but all the
you
big
gotta
projects,
follow-
because like when Noble Hill comes and the other ones come, you almost have to date them because I mean that the Bryce stuff even that we've done is so far back,
Right.
and it's like trying to compare when that detention pond went from an oval to a kidney to a, and you're going
To a peanut.
to a peanut to a whatever because you
Something
but you
else.
go but same type of thing. Everybody's looking at it going, how do you figure this out?
Yeah.
But at least they're broken into stages of years.
Mm-hmm.
On the big plans, you go,
Right.
okay, here's 2022's last plan. Here's this one. Well, they're the same. Okay, we'll just go back one more. So that's not the big project. I mean, again, the number to come across us,
Mm-hmm.
but Noble will be the first big one that I can think of. I think that's
Well, the next big one, yeah.
but that's the next big one, and that's probably within a year and a half.
So I still remain firm as I don't know how Tamika keeps us a track because you're phenomenal doing this, but I think that the Conservation Commission should have access to the server to save our files. So like the way that I do it is I have them broken up into the hundreds by the DEP number. So I have 0 to 100, 100 to 2, etc. And each project is labeled within those folders by their DEP number. And that's where everything is saved from the beginning to the end. If there's any amendments, it's in that one place. So if we can somehow get Tamika set up with remote, whether it's VPN or whatever, access for storage, then she can better arrange those documents. I think it's more important for office to have the robust information so that we can then, if we do have a question, then she has the ability to more easily access the complete list of information. Did that make sense? Probably not.
I understand what you're saying. I think that, so two concerns that I have is just one of them is setting a starting point or a limit, because we really didn't start getting electronic documentation until the pandemic.
Right.
So there's a lot of stuff that I don't have, and we know what our paper files are like, and trying, to scan 11 by 17 plans and stuff. So I'm just trying to get a grasp on how deep this is going to go. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not going to worry about the long term. I want to get us at least started with a way to organize and a way for us to get the information. So let me give you a few clues about where I'm going with all of this. Number one, the most important is that Concom has easy access to whatever information we need, that we have. The next is how we share this information with other boards. And I'm not saying Google Drive isn't the right thing. That's a larger, how we share information across boards is a larger problem. And how, in fact, we save data for the long term is a much larger problem that may or may not involve Google Drive. I don't know. I'm not trying to answer those questions today. Today, I just want to figure out how we can do it. The next step is figuring out how we organize it and how we find information. The next step is how do we make it available easily and usable to specifically planning board, but other boards as well.
Viewpoint. We utilize Viewpoint.
Viewpoint is a good way to do that. Then I don't know what the right sequence of things after that is, but part of it is, one part is starting to go backwards in time to get electronic copies of all, or I should say scanning in all the documents that we need to maintain.
See, I kind of like I don't want to do something in the short term that doesn't carry to long term. Because we just have to redouble our efforts once we do find a system.
Well, I think, yes, but I agree that there is extra work to change systems. The problem is nobody has a solution today, and every time I brought it up, Anita, town clerk, says, that's a good idea, we should talk more about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it very quickly balloons into, what about the fire department and the safety systems and all the things they need to do and the requirements they have for document retention that we are never going to have. We have things we have to maintain forever, maps.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else can go away after a while. But if we're not going to do anything until the town figures out how it's going to persist document, we won't get anything done for 7 years, 10 years.
Well, to be devil's advocate, if we're going to put this effort in so that we can share things with the planning board, what is their method going to be for sharing things with us?
They don't have a clue at all, and so
And that's
the
part of
other
the
side of it is setting up a model that somebody else can follow. So that,
But
not
will
that I
they?
know the planning board will,
I don't, yeah.
there are,
Limitations.
there's a lot there.
So
I just don't want to put in the time and effort and then have them come back and say, yeah, we're not going to utilize that, you know?
I really think we should push on the server stuff. I don't like, it's stuck in my head of Tamika can just go in. I mean, it's going to take a while, and I'm happy to jump back on Fridays scanning stuff in again, or at least getting it organized so that we can find it. But if there's because eventually we'll run out of space on Google Drive.
I would assume.
And
All I have is a thumb drive.
right,
That I
and
see
so
that
it should be
people do.
one place that regardless of the person in that position, they
Mhm.
will be able to have access in the future.
Mhm.
And that resides with the town, whether it's on their server or what. So we need to be able to connect to the town's system.
We're gonna go server, the town's gonna get another one or a bigger one.
That's even better. So that
I
doesn't
said they're gonna
matter.
have to, but
Yeah.
right now I'm gonna tell you, they have no money.
Right.
Can we
They
pay
have
for
zero
that?
money.
Well, can we?
Administratively, you
Admi-
can, but
Well,
it's
actually,
shared with
the-
other departments.
The
You can
problem,
only share,
I-
you only cover what percentage you're using.
so my fast answer, Scott, is that we don't have the money. We don't have the money.
Okay.
A system like that,
Okay.
to do it right, is
I figured.
is probably at least, the system is 1.5 times the cost of the amount of money that we have in all our accounts.
Okay.
And then the
Okay.
maintenance on that, which is a whole
Right,
nother
right.
ongoing issue.
Whatever reason I always bring it up. We have
No, no,
we
it's-
have those accounts that money we
That
can't do anything with, and you go, if this is one of those that behooves everything, you go, you're sitting there doing nothing, you can't do anything with it, so you
Do we
go.
have like an IT person?
We have a company.
Sam, please.
Yeah.
Is it something that maybe we can just start a conversation of what's available?
What are the options?
What are the options?
We're talking a physical server, right?
Or clouds? I mean,
That's
Yeah.
what I
Cloud
was gonna
server,
say,
yeah.
is like, my company's gone to a cloud server.
Yeah.
We had to work out some bugs with it, but
Yeah.
it works great.
Now, the town, to my knowledge, does not use cloud server. They use physical servers today.
Well, they might have to come to the 21st century.
Hey,
That's a question to ask.
it's all just
though.
money.
That's a question to ask.
Again,
because
I don't know what
There
fire,
are certain
police.
government restrictions on cloud servers and physical servers,
Mhm.
and they're not the same,
Right.
all right?
You can have
Because we
clouds.
couldn't use any cloud at all, ever.
Well, we can now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
No,
curious.
I'm not talking about us Concom, I'm talking about business
Yep.
where we were defense
Right.
Mhm.
contractors. We couldn't use any cloud,
Okay.
right? Because we could not guarantee the security of the cloud.
I think that's changed now. though.
That
Very much so.
that has
Yeah.
changed.
Russia said it's okay.
No, no. No, there are parts of.
Vlad said, good
I
idea.
see what you're saying. I mean,
DOD,
but
you cannot use.
the contracts might
Even
say
your,
you
even your
can.
method of
Right.
getting it from point A to point B
Yeah.
is regulated.
Right.
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 It's, yeah, it's just where to store it.
That's the first.
Because I don't think there's a necessarily good way that we'll be able to figure out to have something similar to Google Drive that's any better than what we have, I think. I think the way that Tamika set it up is the best that we can do, because that's all she has too. So it's not like there's
Nothing better available.
nothing better available. I mean, unless we start uploading stuff to Viewpoint and we make our permits through that way. Or at least just uploading them to the building record. Like because you can just upload like the order of conditions to the address. Like that's what I've started to do. So that it's all just under, you can search by address. So if someone is asking about a property in the future, they can just even go online to
Well,
Viewpoint
that
and
seems
say,
that seems simple.
or we could go on Viewpoint.
Yeah, but
Then it's accessible to us too.
that seems simplest for anybody to find.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
What do
more
other
logins.
towns do?
I have no idea.
So like I said, I have everything broken up by DEP file number that I save internally. So I save the application, whatever the final plan is, if there's any amendments, then the COC and the as-built plan. And then, so that's stays within the DEP file number, and it's by, so it's got, the file number and then underscore the address. And then that links to my Excel spreadsheet, which I think to your point, I have it linked with the DEP file number, so I can just click it and it opens the file. And then I've started to upload my permits to Viewpoint so that it's just under the building card.
In Southport, was it a physical server that all that's
Cloud.
saved on? It's on cloud, okay.
I think we have one physical server.
Can you get to that from anywhere?
Yeah.
Like you can be at home?
I can be at
and-
home and VPN.
That's cool,
Yeah.
okay. yeah.
How consumed is our Google Drive, do we know?
I was gonna ask Tamika, can you find out what the limit is?
Yeah, I can find that.
This is just a free account, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
probably
so it's not
15.
gonna
I
be
only
very big.
started using it when COVID hit and we were all remote. And before that, I just physically brought tons and tons of paper to the meetings.
Right.
Yeah, which is just not
No, but this
not
was
worth your time.
better. This is
How to get
better.
unlimited Google Drive storage for free 2022.
Yeah, what is it, like 15 gigabytes for free or something?
Ah, your
Actually,
first
you're
15
exactly
of
right.
storage are free.
Yeah!
Wow, that was good.
But we have no idea how much space we have, too.
I think Tamika can
We're
just
nowhere
look on
near.
her.
Oh, no, there's no way we're near that.
15 gigs?
Oh, you could get there quick with all the plans on
15
there.
gigs isn't that much.
Yeah, I'm not a Google Drive expert, so I don't know how to have it tell me how much space is there.
And I think just do you know where you can see it on the side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Peter,
You
how
just-
did you pull
You just
up
gotta
this
wait for the bill to
page?
come in.
You have
This
to
is the
pin
original link.
the Concom folder.
So, how do I do that? 'Cause
Okay.
So like you got a link to this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back.
And
Look
yeah.
up there.
And I
Yep.
hit Concom.
The Conservation Commission.
Yeah,
That's
that
the
doesn't come
route.
up for me. That's the problem.
You might have to hit the F button.
So if I go to the
Yeah.
Google Drive link,
So hit the down button. Oh no. Hit share with me.
so that's what I went to.
Oh, nothing. I'm sorry, I'm like going over your shoulder.
That's okay.
What if you go to
Go
one of the other? I usually have like a can go up. Shut up.
All right, why don't we,
Yeah. Well,
Anyway, so
Why
I
don't
was
we-
just curious.
Yeah.
let's put in writing some little plan. Melissa,
Yep.
could you possibly do a very brief 3-sentence outline of your system, how you're doing it? And maybe, do a couple of examples that we can look at next meeting?
Sure.
All right, and then we have something to start working with.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily we're gonna adopt it.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I can
it-
take some screenshots.
it gives us a diagram or a path forward.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll take some screenshots and send them to Tamika.
I'll actually talk to the fire and police and regional response
Yeah.
chiefs to see what the heck they're doing for storage. Because they have to be doing something.
Yeah.
Because do you know if like Dave planning, do they just save? They must be able to save to a server, I would assume.
I don't know why you think they do anything electronically.
Okay, so-
Because every time Dave comes to a meeting, he comes with this box of paper, including all the plans, some of them under his arm, some sticking out of the box. Oh yeah.
I think whatever it is just saved on his computer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's baffling.
Like
No,
everything-
no, it's not. It's
Well, it's baffling for like a municipality to be like that, not.
It's an individual.
This is Rutland.
Oh, that drives me crazy. That drives my professional mind crazy.
no.
Okay.
Look,
That's why it's like, I don't know how Tamika keeps it straight. It's so impressive.
Remember, I was doing medical devices. I know a little bit about documentation requirements and the federal government. Anyway, all right, that's all we're going to do today. I'm going to bypass the last item, which was about,
God, it's 8 o'clock.
yeah, we're well past 8,
Yeah,
which was Cannon Road. I've done nothing.
No, we got past that, and you asked me to send them a letter.
Oh, that's right.
Asking them to go to a sidewalk, asking them to invite Paul to a meeting. It's been weeks. They have not responded to me, so now it's kind of up to the commission
That's a no
where they
interest
want to
from
go at
me.
this point. Yeah, they're I don't think it's any
That's
different than
fair.
it was a year ago.
Yeah.
Let's think on this for 2 weeks.
Really?
Yes.
Did we just drop the warrant?
Yes.
Okay. Because we thought that they were coming in. Or they did come in.
No, they didn't.
They did, but they didn't. They didn't, but they did.
They sent paperwork.
No, they came to the
Oh, yeah, that's
They were
right.
They were here, Zoomy.
with Paul.
That's right.
Paul.
Yeah, Paul McManus.
That's right. Okay.
And the
Motion-
neighbors didn't respond. Right? That's what you were
Peter
saying?
didn't know them, or
No,
they didn't
Peter
know.
didn't.
somebody.
Yeah, I don't actually know the
Oh, we
neighbors.
didn't send them-
We learned, right, so,
Did we send the new owners a letter?
no, I should be going,
No, I wouldn't.
Introducing
I said I wouldn't
myself.
do that direction. You don't want Hatfields McCoys.
all right.
I mean, if you knew the people, that's one thing, but to try to involve somebody that you don't know, no, that's messy.
Well, it happens around here anyway.
That's messy.
You don't want to be the cause of neighborly disputes?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Hey,
You
hey,
called
hey.
yourself a Rutlandite.
Hey, Skip, want to make a motion?
No, I got one thing.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
Are we through with, what do I want to call it? The filling project off of Glenwood Road, off of Wachusett Street, is that all done and over with?
Are you talking Jordan's Farm?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's supposed to be closed and shut down.
So, we're moving trucks back in again, filling some other area up there?
If so, he's doing it without a consent order from the DEP.
Is it, do we know if it's real dirt or play dirt or blowing dirt?
Who knows?
Well, the trucks
What color
are out of
trucks?
Boston, so I mean,
No, that's dirty dirt.
the complaint came, and I was gonna say something that when the kid was here. The complaint came, or the question came, not complaint. Question came from people from Princeton. Because they're coming that way up through,
They come down Route 2 and then through Princeton, taking the back way, so that
190
notices it.
Manning Street, 31,
Right.
and down Ball Hill Road and up Brook Station Road. So, I mean, they asked and I said, I have no idea.
I mean, was that project ever closed out?
Yes. I was at the sidewalk.
That project was closed out.
That's
Yes.
the one I was kicked out.
Yes.
I was kicked out, yes,
Why? Were you kicked out?
because the landowner wouldn't allow, was gonna have me arrested, wouldn't allow me to be on the property.
that's why I never bothered showing up for that.
Okay.
The question, in my mind, the attempt was to fill APR land further down on the left,
Mhm.
which did not belong to that individual, it belonged to
Another individual.
somebody else.
Right. That didn't get it because it wasn't approved originally. Right.
It was, right.
Right. Okay. So.
I don't know, I'll just tell these people, we'll look into it, or whatever, I don't know, maybe it's Dirtworks Board problem.
It normally would be the Earthworks Board, but we're not meeting for another couple of weeks. We stopped meeting because of my time commitments, and we'll start meeting again in another couple of weeks.
Okay, so the questions on this are, it's one of those, how do you find out what they're hauling?
Or if they're, even if it's even there, that's, you know,
Do you talk to Nick and see if they'll monitor it?
Or do we just put a?
I would be more than glad to
Questions
tell
to
these
the
people to take
APs
pictures of the trucks, I don't care.
Yeah, but you got any pictures of trucks and whatever, but
I think that's the cleanest way.
There you go.
Just reaching out to DEP saying we've heard that there's been trucking and we'd like to know the current status.
yeah, you can ask that
Well,
question.
Yeah.
do you send it to both landowners too? And say, hey, is there filling going back in? Because if it is, where's it coming from?
Yeah.
So notice that,
I think a discreet inquiry at this point to DEP is probably the
but I
best.
would go with both landowners at the same time.
But no,
You don't want you don't want coming in. You want them to go, oh. Let them tell us what's going into their property.
there
So-
might not be anything going in.
I.
There might
Well,
not
well
be
then let
anything
them come
going
in like Bobo did and tell us there's nothing. So one letter should go to Mr. Williams, and one letter should go to Randy.
And then reach out to
And DEP, and the letters to Randy and Dick would say, we've had complaints that there's
being material
large amounts of,
trucked in.
there's decent amount of trucking going in and out of the property again. Is there continued filling going on? Could you come to the next meeting? Because that gives you, that's a 2-week, come to the next meeting. It is, oh, it's from here, it's from there, it's from what, or they're gonna ignore it, and then you just go from there. But now DEP knows,
Right.
and they've been notified, we wanna see, kinda like we did with Bobo. What's going on, because we've had complaints. Same with Bobo, somebody said he was doing something, ask him to come in. So instead of he said, she said.
Moving dirt, more specifically,
Yeah, it is,
Or say material.
material.
it seems to be material,
Importing,
In-
importing material onto the property.
right,
Okay. Which property? Randy or Dick's?
Yes.
yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Both, because it goes down, it splits down the middle.
Oh, okay. So importing onto the property.
I
Yeah.
don't know, I'd ask DEP, just make a phone call to DEP and ask them
Well, but
first.
they might not, I wouldn't, because it's your time frame.
What do you mean timeframe?
Tell DEP get back in a month, how many
Yeah,
trucks just went
response
in?
time is not.
No, you just ask them if there's
Yeah.
any permitted activity.
Can't be, because they didn't tell us.
No,
Well, that's, yeah,
DEP
that's
did
the
not
starter.
share information with us on the first go-around,
I know, but I like.
until we demanded it of DEP.
I like landowners, so.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the people that, where that dirt's going,
Right.
into that reservoir.
Right.
That goes,
Well, actually, I mean, put it this way, I didn't go to the next step and say, guess what? Call Worcester. I mean, Worcester had a hard on for that last time. If there's
yeah,
any-
but they're
What's
not
the
even
bail
checking
out?
the water anymore.
I know they bailed out, but
Oh, did
still.
they even stop testing?
I think they
No,
stopped
no,
that.
they still, that tributary down there is regularly tested, it always was.
Right,
Because it
Okay.
flows directly to Wachusett Reservoir.
right. Okay, so are we sending one letter or three?
3. Well,
Jared?
maybe not, maybe 2 in an email.
Yeah, I mean,
2 in an email.
email to DPP and
What
one
did you
goes.
do with, was it Mary Jude? Because Denise is gone.
No, we were dealing
Yeah,
with.
Mary Jude
Mary
was,
Jude?
was
Okay.
one of them, yeah.
I think she's
And what's her
second.
name,
Denise Child's got Judy. Judy Schmidt?
no, the attorney.
Oh, Rebecca.
No. Top,
Ann Blackman.
top.
I'll figure it
top,
out. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know who that is.
I'll get you
Yeah,
emails.
what do you
I'll
think,
look through my
Jared?
work one.
One,
Okay.
three.
Emails.
No, it's Seacoast.
I'm okay with
How did
a couple
you?
letters to the property owner.
Because I have
DEP just asked.
Sure.
Then everybody's notified?
Yeah, but are you notifying for no good reason?
You're asking a question.
You're asking. Yeah.
You know, different than we asked Bobo. What are you doing? Nothing. Okay.
I assume, I don't know a lot about the previous project and all the, I know a little bit because you've told me, Joe,
Right.
but I'm assuming we would have some interest in this because the filling is happening near wetlands?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In fact, somewhere I have the ACO.
What's that?
Fancy. So
Somewhere-
he's pulling up crap from years ago.
Somewhere I have
Nowhere.
the administrative consent order with
Right.
DEP.
And the fact is that project's supposed to be closed.
It's my understanding that that
Right.
when I went out, it was done.
How long ago was that?
2020.
Okay.
It was closed out in 2020.
Yeah, but it's odd if you get Boston trucks coming back.
Yeah.
Because that's where it was all coming from.
See, but I'm not, the part that was closed out, I would believe that that's probably not where it's ending up.
No. No, it's ending up on the property that didn't get any dirt.
That's right.
But if you ask them both, because the road goes down the middle of them,
No, you can't.
the right of way that goes through the property that goes to Princeton.
Oh, no, it's public road.
I know.
No, I think that's discontinued.
It's
No, wait a minute.
No, the only part that got discontinued was the part
Yeah. So,
beyond Williams'
so
driveway.
Tamika, I guess, so
That got
email to
discontinued
DEP
going up to
and
Princeton.
Yeah,
letter
but was
Dick
it
and
voted out?
Randy.
I don't know.
Just ask them to come in, or just give comment or whatever for next meeting.
Sure, you can do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll get her emails. And I can.
I just want to see who was copied on this when I got it.
Oh yeah.
Show 'em all. Health agent Joe Buckley. Skip got a copy. Concom. Gosh, you got a copy of this.
Me?
Yes. Jared, Joe, Melissa, Eric
Fancy.
Bigelow, Bill Cannon.
Copy of, what are you looking at?
To close out.
The
report.
you know the inspection report. But I don't see where it came from.
The inspection report came to the Concom and listed the Concom members. We didn't get copies delivered to our houses or anything like that.
No. I sent it
It was
by
emailed.
email to the Concom.
Right.
It's alright. I think I can find the names and I'll send them to her.
You got an airplane, Scott?
Drone.
Drone.
By that bar?
Huh?
By that bar of 68?
Oh, yeah.
Can I
May have a motion.
I was going to say, is there any other business before the commission?
Skip, hey, Skip, do I have a drone?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Done.
Aye.
We're all here, all in favor.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, everybody.